Well, I felt like jumping back in here and doing a little bit more word puzzling today to start us off. I have a feeling what we're going to do today is probably play Wordatros daily and then maybe play Ball Pit for a bit. Something a little different. Mix it up a little bit halfway through. So we'll see how we are feeling when we're done the daily, but I figure this would be fun. So we'll jump into it and see how it goes. If you haven't been here for the last Wordatro stream, we can get through the TLDR of what's happening here pretty easily once we get into it. So let's start it up and we'll see what's happening. And hey, Dragonlord Pixel, how you doing? Hey, Blasto. Glad to have caught a stream. Used to watch all the time when you were younger. Does you still making content? I mean, still making content is maybe a stretch. I have started streaming again this week after not streaming in a long time. But I am still around and I want to make more stuff. Oh, you got the flu, Dragonlord? That's no fun. So, we're doing word game stuff today. We have ourselves a pretty simple looking interface. If you've played Balatro before, which is this game's inspiration, it's pretty intuitive how this stuff is going to work. But the long story short here is we are trying to make words to fit into the tiles on these boxes here that will earn us points. So every point written on the tiles gets added to the points score, and every additional letter earns us an additional multiplicator. So in order to pass this round, we have to get at least 100 total points, and it gets more complicated from here. But the long story short now is we just need to figure out how to best use our letters to make as interesting a word as possible. It looks like the stream settings actually turned off. So give me one quick second here to turn the stream connection back on. There we go. Now the stream's back connected again. It has been a long time, Iron Pizza. Thank you very much for the subscription. And welcome, Vivian. Welcome, That Not Dead. Yeah, Yogi, I am probably going to be doing that with these ones. I don't know if I'm going to re-upload the ones from like the last batch when I stopped last time, because I still have those in my old files, but they're kind of like a little old now. I don't know if I'm going to put those ones back up, but I'm planning to put these ones. Anyway, what we got to do here is figure out what we're going to do with our letters. So we have a couple of different interesting bits here that we can try and work with. We have a TION, which I don't know if we could easily do anything with. But we also have Pointy is an interesting one, that's true. It's 6 letters, so there's a couple of interesting breakpoints we want to get to here. One of them is 5 letters. 5 letters gives us an improved tile, and improved tiles stay in our bag and make sure that every time we use them, they do something else good for us. 7 letters gets us a special letter. Special letters don't stay in our bag after we use them, but do permanently buff other letters of the same type or give us other benefits. And 9 letters gives us an extra energy, which means we can play more words. So we have a couple of other interesting pieces in here that we can try and use to make the most out of what we've got. Trollface Mafia says, "I didn't realize you could do that. Thanks for the content in the past. Wishing you the best." Hey, no problem. Thank you very much for the Prime sub. I hope you get to enjoy some of this here. I am seeing Waypoint that was called out in the chat, and that's pretty darn good. There may or may not be some way we can get to 9 letters here, which would be real nice. But Waypoint is pretty good. That's going to be hard to beat. We don't have enough A's to make like patina or other words that would take advantage of some of our N's and T's. Honestly, I think Waypoint's probably going to be the one to go for here. It's pretty good. Let's give it a shot. Also, I can actually like click on this once it's been recommended by folks, and it'll show up in the box, which is pretty cool. So I think the only reason it says one person did it is because it's a little finicky about punctuation and other things in the same word. It's maybe not the most powerful integration, but it's still pretty interesting. Let's try Waypoint and see what it does. This will also potentially give us access to the other interesting mechanic in this game. Oh, the Ultra Wilds was excellent, Yogi. That is one that I definitely don't have archived, though. I was not very good at archiving things when I was streaming before. Alright, so we completed a round, which means we get these rewards. So we get 2 energy back and a reroll back every time we complete a stage. And we get the option to choose one of the perks that are going to be made available. In this set, these ones are not very good. Deja Vu's okay. So consonants just means that any consonants have a slightly higher point value, which is fine. Having the 6th tile multiplier go up if a word has 6 letters is pretty lame, in my opinion. And Deja Vu here, where the first letter being the same as the previous words bumps our score on this perk as like a flat bonus over time, is decent. But we often don't want to be trying to do that. We can't control the letters that are in our hands, so we're going to re-roll this one, try and get some more interesting first bonuses. The first bonuses are often the most impactful because they have the chance to build up over the course of the whole run. So in here, these are also not that exciting. We've got adding a 10th tile to the playable words. It's hard enough getting 9 letters. I'm not sure if it's very useful to have 10. I don't know if it adds any other bonuses maybe that make it worthwhile, but I've added this in the past and I was a little underwhelmed with it. 2 rerolls in the end of round rewards are not that great. I'm not a big reroll user in general. I like to use them on the perks and not so much on the letters. And this multiplier versus the equal number of rerolls is basically never going to be worthwhile, so we're going to reroll this one again too. Ooh. Interesting. Square is really potentially powerful. That times 3 points, if a word is longer than 4 letters, is really good if you have things already in place so that you actually have points to work with. Because you can only ever do words that are really short with this, which makes it hard to use early, but really powerful later. Cash Machine, again, it's about re-rolling, so I'm not a huge fan of it. Zorro is really unlikely to trigger, because if we look at our actual tile set, we only have 1 Z. So, yeah, gaining 10 multiplier every time you draw a Z is pretty cool, but it rarely does anything. I've had a game or two where I've taken this and it never triggered. I just never drew a Z. So I don't really want to try and rely on this one too much. I'm thinking, I don't like using all the rerolls at the start, but I want to get something good on our first one. I'm going to do 1 more reroll. We'll try 1 more time. Hopefully we'll get something we can actually stick around with here. No, I don't like any of these. These are all bad, for my opinion. I guess I'm just going to buff our vowels, because this all sucks. I was hoping we'd get something more fun here, but alright, we'll take vowels. It's fine. Points are hard to get sometimes, and we use vowels in most of our words, turns out. It's not great, but it'll do. That's okay, that's what the rerolls are for. Now, what do we have here? We have almost justice, but we have a D instead of an E. Justin. Apparently Justin is a word. We also have our first gold letter and our first green letter. So there's a couple different types of green letters, just as a quick rundown for people who haven't seen them before. This one underlines, multiplies your current multipliers when it gets to that point in the word, so you'll want to use them later. Justine apparently does count as a word, which is weird to me, as does Justin. The gold letters make the letter that they are worth more points in the future, which is good, but not so much if it's a J. So, bit hit or miss on that one. If Justine is a word, that honestly might be the best thing we can do with this. It gets rid of our J and our U. But is there anything else interesting that we can potentially do with these letters? We can do stained, but I think stained is just a little less interesting than Justine. It's still 7 letters long, but it doesn't use the J. If we had an S, another S, we could do sustained, which would be really cool, but we don't have that, so we can't do that. I don't know. I think we might have just happened to run into the lucky word. This is one of the things about the dictionary in this game. It's mostly pretty good at having the words that are actually words show up, but occasionally it chooses things like this that I don't know why they're in here. I don't know why that counts. Maybe it's a word that I'm not familiar with, but that still looks like a proper noun to me, and that doesn't seem right. But whatever, it's a good one. We'll put it in. The nice thing about gold letters is they're also worth a lot of points, but the more interesting one, rather than these special letters, are ones that have other properties. There's wild cards that will be any letter that are really useful for making big words, and there are also exclamation marks, which can give you points even if they're not used in the word. Bolds are triggered extra times. That's fine, but we don't have any bolds currently. Adding more multiplier for the difference in letter count. That would be fine if we wanted to burn energy on having really short words, but I don't love this one. And 3 wild cards is also fine, but like, that's all you get. If your bonus is a consumable, you're gonna lose it really fast. So we're gonna re-roll this one again, and we're gonna hope we get something better. Not great here either. I guess we're gonna take more bonuses, because we can use those re-rolls to try and re-roll for other things. Other bonuses, in fact. So we'll take it, we'll see what happens. I don't really want either of these. Weird choices so far this run. What do we have here? We have some interesting letters. We should be able to do something with this. We can do postal. Oops. Yes, I am indeed streaming, Mei. This is a bold letter, and they're really good if you can get them on the special letter tiles, because they trigger them multiple times. So if we can get them here, we'd get 2 improved letters, here we'd get 2 special letters, and at the end we'd get 2 energy. So we may not be able to control where they go, but like pistol is better here, because it'll land the bold on our improved letter tile. Yodel, yeah, yodel's not bad. We could do pistoled, probably? Yeah. Pistolero, we don't have the letters for that. I don't know if we can do better than this again. If we could get something over to here, that would be really nice. Energy is super useful, both because it means you can keep playing words if you don't reach the score threshold, but also because energy that you have left over at the end is a huge bonus to your end score. We have ED or DE, so that gives us the ability to move around where our bonuses go. D pistol obviously isn't a word, but it gives us the ability to potentially shuffle around where the bonus is if we can get one that actually fits. What else can we do with this? We could do... Can't do pastoral. We can't do... There's lots of little words like slot. Your name goes on Steam. Ah. Fair enough. Spade, yeah. There's also splayed, which is pretty good. Again, we're talking about that 7-letter threshold is really nice. Huh. If we try and keep the ED at the end, what can we do with the rest? We could do posited. That doesn't do anything particularly exciting, though, compared to something like splayed. So far, I'm seeing pistoled as giving us the O on the improved letter, and splayed as using the Y as our 2 better choices. We have delays. We have stop. Can we add anything interesting with stop? I don't think so. We have plaid. plated. We have pleats. No worries, Amy. It's that's how it goes sometimes. I think I'm gonna go for pistoled here. It's not quite as good for using our... Whoa, that's not where I want that to go. Not quite as good for using the Y letter, but I like that it doubles our improved tiles because that is really valuable early. We have a limited number of bonuses, and if we can get more of those quicker, then that's gonna help us out in the long run. So let's go for pistoled here and see what we do with this. We still need a long way to go to get to that score threshold, though. Alright, what are we gonna do with these letters now? We have some awkward bits and pieces left here. The double N is interesting. I keep thinking one of them is an M, but it's not. Because we've got joke, we've got yoke, we've got... We don't really have a lot of the things that would let us use the K in other ways, other than maybe like this. But we've also got yoke the other way. Underlines are not my favorite version of the special letters. I'm a big fan of italics and bold, because italics level up the multiplier on the tile they're on, and bold can give us multiple rewards, whereas underlines just make the score on that hand a little higher, which is good, but it makes it harder for us to capitalize on it. We do Jenny. Apparently it likes names. I didn't realize this. We could try and see if it'll take Janky, which I think someone else just recommended, but it won't. Janky would be like that, I think. No, it doesn't like that either. We could try... What else could we do with this? We have a loan, but that's just worse. That's just worse than some of our other options here. Can we do... maybe not. Does it... It likes Jenny. Does it like Johnny? Not like that, anyway. Not like that. This is not very exciting. This, like... is kind of bad, but at least it gets rid of the J, which is hard to use, and uses both of our super letters here, so it'll get that score increase going longer term. Is there anything else that we like better? We have koala, but having our two underlined letters at the start of the word isn't going to make very good use of them. I don't know. I'm thinking we're just going to take what we can get on this one. Not seeing anything super exciting behind it. Is Jokey viable? Well, Jokey is viable, and I think we're going to do that instead, because that gets rid of the K and the J, and uses the Y. It should be enough points to get us to the score threshold, too. And these are some versatile letters we could hold on to, so let's give that a try and see what that takes us to. Still not very good use of the underlines, but should still bring us well over what we need. Well, I say well over, just barely over, turns out. Can we get a decent bonus? Hand capacity is really nice. I might take that just so we can do a little bit more with it. We have a free reroll, so that is our more bonuses benefit. We could take that if we want it here, but easy mode's not that exciting. We want to get score anyway, so reaching the score threshold should not be the problem that we're having. And this is very situational, whereas more choice is just good. I think we're just going to take this because I like the extra letters. Even if we don't get to use them all, having more selection is generally helpful. What I really want is something that scales us. We still don't have any scaling bonuses here, which is really rough, but we're gonna take what we've got on hand and figure it out. We've got Azalea off the bat here. We have a lot of N's. What else can we do with these? We don't have any eyes, so we can't do like zoning. We have... we have lasagna, but spelled wrong. What else do we have here? I think we're gonna have a hard time having the Z involved and using a lot of these other letters. We've got a long... but like, we have a bunch of vowels, a bunch of N's, and a Z. We can do anneal. That's a fun word. It's not worth very many points, though. If we had an I, we could make annealing, which would get us all the way up to the extra energy, which would be great, but again, we have no eyes. So that's not super great. We can do glean instead, which would let us keep one of our N's, but it's not as long as anneal even is. What else can we do here? What a mess of letters. Let's just sort these out a little bit. Glaze definitely gets rid of our Z, and the Z is italic, so it will buff our permanent multiplier growth on the tile that we hit. Ooh, analog is a fun word. I don't think it doesn't quite get us to 7 again, so it's probably still not what we're going to want to go with. Ideally, we want to use our tough letters or get at least to 7 points as much as possible, because those special letters can really help you out down the line. But it's good to know what our choices are, because if we don't consider them, it's easy to overlook other word options that we could do. What else could we do with this? We could do... like, there's lots of little words. There's neon, there's... if it likes names, there's Logan. It does really like names, which is weird. I don't have another O to make Gonzo. We have Zeal. But that leaves too many bananas down here. Banana. Can't move this letter for some reason. I have a feeling, given the letters that we've got, we're going to want to go for analog, we're going to want to go for azalea, we're going to want to go for anneal. The thing about anneal that I like is it gets rid of a lot of our multiple letters. We have 3 A's and 3 N's, and being able to get rid of some of those is going to be helpful for making our hand a little bit more versatile. The nice thing about using something like glaze is it gets rid of the Z, but leaves us with this mess of A's and N's behind. So, and azalea, again, is really good at getting rid of the Z and the A's, but leaves us with this mess in the hand. We could try and re-roll for a different vowel, but I don't think that's worth it right now. The letters we have are kind of fine, they're just not super powerful. Can we do lozenge? No, we're missing one E on lozenge. Would you accept it spelled incorrectly? No. Lozenge would have been really good if we could have taken it. Alright. I think I'm going to just play the one that gets rid of some of our massive letter overlap and see what we can do with this afterwards. That's too many N's. It's not good, but it may be good enough. It'd problem is it's not going to be much score either. You know what? I've changed my mind. Even though I think it's worse, I need to get the Z out of my hand and get the multiplier building because we need those multipliers to get more points. So let's put that in the pile again so we can maybe get it back. It's the only Z in the board, but you never know. I don't love it, but I think getting that multiplier started is something that we need. It's not good though. It's not good. Okay, what can we do with this? Well, I hope you like lots of the same letter, because that's what we've got. There's lots of little words here, like noted. But oh, hold on, hold on. No, we don't have another T. I say if we could do annotated, that would have been really good. But annotated, we're missing a letter for. Antenna's pretty good. That gets us all the way to 7, which is nice. Good suggestion there. Is there anything else we have that we can get even further with? We could do... No, I don't have two. I keep thinking I have 2 T's. I have 2 of everything, but not T's or E's. Because we could do, like, attend. But we can't actually do that. I'll put a big doot. Unfortunately, the big doot won't be accepted. Huh, we have Neaton. No, we don't, because we only have 1 E. For some reason, my brain has a hard time parsing how many E's we have. Antenna might be our best choice here. We could do... Yeah, atoned. There's also donate. But again, that only gets to 6, which is not quite as good. Again, if we had I, we could make donation, or other words here that would be more powerful, but not having that I is rough. We have an ED we could try and make specific use of. Is there something we can do with this that likes the ED at the end? Again, Titan, we don't have an I. Taunt, we don't have a U or another T. I don't know. I think we're probably just gonna wind up going for antenna here. Tanned, yeah. Tanned is a decent ED, but again, it doesn't make it to 7, which makes it just a little worse than antenna. Alright, I think we're gonna go for antenna. It gets rid of our massive supply of N's and leaves us with ood, which I don't know if I love, but I think it gets us to a decent checkpoint here for a green and a yellow, and these are at least usable letters at the end. It's not like we have a whole pile of nasty consonants. So let's give it a shot and see what we get. Do we get anything good? Barely any score. This is not looking great here. Okay. The Q is not... Our super letters are so nasty this game. They keep being like Q's and J's and things that are hard to use. The S being bold is nice though. S is a pretty easy one to put at the end of words. So that does help. What are we trying to do with this now, though? Yeah, we've got hoodies here, which is pretty nice. That puts our S on the gold letter, which is excellent. We also have foodies, if we think the H is better to keep. What else do we have? We have fish, fished, but that doesn't really do much for us. Hoofed is an interesting word. I don't think it's gonna be better for us than hoodies or foodies. We have the Q, which is gonna be a pain to use if we don't get a U to go with it soon. We have ION. SION isn't quite as good as TION. We're talking like fusion, confusion, that sort of zone. And we don't really have the U's that usually go with it. Diffusion. We're probably not going to be able to use that one. We have our ED again. Is there anything else we can do with this? We have shined, but that's no good. But it's a bold at the front. We want bold at the end. So maybe DE instead of ED? Is it D hoofs? It would be nice if that was a word, because it gets rid of both of our nasty consonants. Well, not the Q, but you know what I mean. But I don't know if that's going to be what we're able to take advantage of here. I have a feeling that we're probably not going to find much better than what we've already got here. Hoodies or foodies. Because of the lack of other consonants and vowels in our board here. Denoise would be an interesting one. I think I'm going to go for foodies. I don't know if I think that's necessarily better than the hoodies, but this goes a little bit better with W and T and other letters, whereas F doesn't really like many things. So we're going to give this one a shot here and see how far it takes us. Re-rolling any specific letter is almost always a nightmare. You can re-roll a maximum of 3 letters. We're really struggling here. The lack of any scaling points boost is hurting us bad. If you look at our board here, there's a lot of vowels. There's 9 A's, there's 7 I's, 7 O's, 10 E's. But the odds of getting any specific letter when you re-roll is still not super great. And if you spend a re-roll and don't get what you want, you are going to be in trouble later, I think. Unfortunately, we might be in trouble now, because these are some awkward letters. What can we do with this? We do have a potential U here now, because we have the wild card. We do have not a lot of great words here. We can't do quinoa even, because we don't have an A. Apparently, quino is a word. I don't know what it means, but that's what they tell me. What else can we do with this? We still have the ION. We could do something like hexed, but we'd have to use our wild card to make it happen. Yeah, wild card, this can be any letter, but we only get to use it once. After it's in play, it's destroyed. What else could we do here? Again, we've had so few italic letters, which really hurts our onboard scaling. This is just a tough daily. We could do dioxide. That might be our best one here. I'd love to get the Q in this word. Phoenix? Yeah, Phoenix is another interesting one. Again, we're still getting rid of the X consistently here, as opposed to getting rid of the Q. Ooh, equinox. Yeah, now you're thinking. That is a good one there, Shocked Frog. I didn't see it the first time. But yeah. That gets rid of our Q and our X. Puts these pretty late in the word. I think we're gonna go for that. That's some good stuff. I mean, points are important here, just because we need to make sure we get at least 200. But any score we have over the top carries over into our future hands, into our final score anyway, so it's never bad to try and get more points, but there are times where it's maybe not our priority. That would hurt, though. We were having a hard time finishing that round. We need some point scaling. Come on! Give me something here. No. Let's take our free reroll on this one, see if we can get anything that's going to give us some scaling. Yeah, again, is great with exclamations. I didn't think about that. I mean, yeah, it basically just makes your word one letter longer all the time. I hadn't considered using it with the wild card or the exclamation point. That's a good call out. I went a little too fast on that one, probably. I'm just looking for something that gives us some actual decent scaling, and we're not finding it. I guess because of how we use exclamation marks in English, I regularly forget you don't have to put them at the end of the word. You can kind of put them on either side and it'll work fine. What do we want here? Is it worth taking the bold letters just to try and get something happening here? Or do we re-roll it and see if we can get anything that can help keep us alive? This isn't very good. MULT is too unreliable as a way to keep our score alive. The re-rolls are probably not going to help us very much at this stage. And the bold letters are useful, but not as useful as italics for what we're trying to do, or giving us actual, like, permanent scaling. I think I'm gonna re-roll again and see if we can get something better. The bag is pretty underwhelming right now. It is almost exclusively underlines. A couple other things. I'm kind of inclined to go for cooking here, but I think we're gonna lose before we have a chance to take advantage of it, because cooking is really good with exclamation marks, and it just makes your general hand quality a little higher all the time. But I don't know if it's going to be enough to save us here. We have to reach a pretty high score threshold this round now to survive, and I don't think that's going to do it. We're going to need some big scoring hands. We'll take it. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm dubious about our survival in this round here. We have death, death eat. We have, what do we have here? Heated. Heated? You deheated? No, you can't deheat. But I think this kind of combination is something we should be looking at. Can we take advantage of these DEEDs? Audited is pretty good. It's a 7-letter, which is nice. He doesn't like it because it's not at the start of the sentence, but like it's almost certainly a valid word. We could do T. No, I can't do teeth. We don't have another T. What other options do we have here? We could do... There's no thread. We don't have an R. Again, no heart. We don't have an R. Duetted? I don't know. We'll see what it thinks. No, it actually does like duetted. That's a reasonable choice, but again, we need big score on our on our words here. We got to do everything we can to try and make this a big one. Otherwise, we are not going to last. What? Well, Dragon Lord, I actually had a feeling that we were going to have bad luck this round. I can't go back and look at it now, but the scoreboard for all players on this round is very low, which made me feel like a lot of people are not getting very good rounds. So I'm not too surprised that we didn't get super far. Yeah, dieted. It has the same problem, though. 6-letter word. Obviously, we'll put this one at the start. But, we're having a hard time with this one. It doesn't like Deft? No, I think I tried that earlier. What else can we do here? Dates. We have heed. Obviously, heated is not that exciting. Headed is probably better than heated because we get to keep one of our E's. Deft. Listen, I'm just saying. It'd be nice. Oh, de-auth? Maybe. I don't know if it will like auth because it's kind of a short form of a word. No. Good thinking, though. Again, I really think if we can make something happen here, de-something ed, that's probably going to be the best we could do. We also have eed. So if there's anything we could do with that, that could be pretty good. Like, headied? Something can be heady, but I don't think it can be headied. We got anything else that we can put in there? I don't know. We have etude, but that's just on its own, and I don't even know if it likes it in English. Yeah, it would accept etude. But again, too short. We are really on the edge here of what we can accept. Is there? We can't. Yeah. There is a like dutied. It's not ideal. Yeah, I don't know. This is looking like a pretty tough round here, folks. We'll see if we can stay alive, but I'm dubious. Is there anything else that would work? We don't have enough T's to do tithed. Decided? I mean, honestly, this game accepts words that I don't... we don't have enough D's for that, actually. Defade. If we're bringing someone back to life, are we de-deathing them? No. Alright, I think we're gonna have to go for one of our 6 letters here. I'd love to keep one of the E's, D's if we can, so I think... headed... We can't keep the E with it in that case. But we keep at least one of them, I guess. But we can go for, like, this here. The D's are gone, but we keep the E. We had a 7? Audited. You're right. Audited was the better one. The only problem with audited is it keeps the H. If I could spell, this would be even easier. And the downside about audited is it doesn't let us capitalize on the double on any of these. But it is probably better still to get a chance at another wild card or another gold tile. So we'll take it, and it does buff our other future D, so let's see what we can get. Auditee might have counted. I didn't think about that one. Ooh, we are in trouble. Oh boy. We've got Avenge. Not a lot else, but we need to get a lot of points in only one word. Okay. We might need to re-roll stuff just to try and get a big enough word. This is looking pretty rough. We have heaven. Exclamation marks can go on either side of the can go on either side of the word, and it stays valid. If they stay in hand, they give us their points. So you can put them on the words just to extend the length or manipulate where a tile is, but you lose their long-term benefit. Or even in the middle, which is a part I also always forget. You can kind of just put them anywhere. So they let you really manipulate the shape of your words without changing the content of them. But the problem is that you lose their constant score increase as a result because they're not staying in hand. In this point, we honestly probably have to spend one just to try and make it to the next round. Ooh, but I don't know what we want to do with this. We don't have an eye, so we still can't do, like, heaving. We've had so few eyes this game. We have so many NG, but we have almost no I. We have no R's either, so we can't do govern. There's no R, so we can't do hangover. This hangover would be really good. Stick one of these on the end, you'd be laughing. But I don't know. We're a little in trouble here. We've got like agave, but that's nothing. We have one reroll, so if we want to try and gamble on a reroll, we do have that as an option. The likelihood of pulling exactly what we need is not super high, though. There's a lot of letters in there, even if some of the good ones are pretty common. Because, like, if we want to try and gamble, we could try for something to get an R, for example, to make hangover. But the reroll should be spent attempting Vanguard. If only we had more of those letters, and it was actually possible with 3 tiles of rerolling. I would be down if it was possible. Because honestly, if we don't get all the way to the end, I think we're probably dead here. So it would be a pretty big gamble, because if we make this, then we can no longer make Heaven or Avenge, which is not good. If we beef it on a reroll here, we're really destroying our long-term chances. But if we don't get a big word, I think we just lose. So I think we kind of have to. Venga, reroll for bus. Now you're talking. Now you're talking. I don't know if this is a great play, but I guess I'll just re-roll these 2 tiles and see if we can maybe, like, RNG our way into survival. Let's see what the RNG says to us. I think it's a bad choice. Avenge and re-roll for an R and an S. Yeah. But I think we're in trouble anyway, so I'm just gonna high roll it if we can. We cannot! But can we do anything else interesting with a W and an I? Because now we have ING, which is the other thing I was hoping to be able to keep. Because this does give us some potentials. That's not the right letter. This goes here and that goes there. Now we have weaving, heaving. Those are pretty good. Probably heaving just because it's worth more points right now. If we really need to, we can burn both of our exclamation marks to put this into extra energy territory. It's really not good for our long-term survival, but it could get us at least an extra round. If we can put the E over here, that'll be better than anything else we can do. But if we're going for an ing, that's going to be pretty unlikely. We could do waving, but that's just worse. What else do we have here? Avowing. Oh! That's pretty fun. That's pretty fun. Because the problem is, if we use these, then we lose our additional points. Everything in our hand is spent, so we're not going to get anything else much off of our cooking. It'll keep us alive. So we're going to do it anyway. But the question is just what do we want to try and hold on to? And I think if we can't get the E on a good tile, it's better to hold it because it is the bold. So let's give this a shot. Avowing is fun. It keeps our E, and maybe it'll keep us alive. I don't love spending 2 exclamation points like this. I guess technically the better way to do it is here, because it puts our O later in the word, so it gets us more multiplier. Yeah, exactly, frog there, put it at the start. Just to push this back further. It's not going to make a huge difference, but having it after the +4 is the more important piece here. Okay, let's give it a shot. Is this even enough to stay alive with? It was 40 points short! That's so mean! This is why we got the extra energy, though, because we knew we were gonna be murdered on this one. Okay. This is an I. It's just an italic I. So italic letters are really valuable. They upgrade the multiplier on the point here. So like this turns it into a 4, then make it a 7. So italic letters are excellent. We have none of them. I've been trying to get italic letters every time, and we've had such bad luck. Beguile is pretty cool, but we don't have enough E's. It would be really excellent if we did. Ghoul is interesting, but I think if we can, we want to try and get that Q in there for the extra score and to get it out of our hand. If we had an extra B, we could make Quibble, but we don't have another B, so we can't do that. We don't have 2 L's, so we can't do Quill. We... block. Ooh, oblique. Yeah. That's what I'm looking for here. That's actually really good. Puts our E on the gold letter, which is nice. The other nice thing about keeping the E in hand is that cooking means that it gains more score, and because it's bold, it doubles the score bonus. Yeah, oblique is pretty fun. I think I'm going to take that one. Gets rid of the Q, gets rid of our B and the U. Our leftover consonants and vowels aren't great, but they could be much worse, I think. So let's take this and see if we can survive the next round. We are holding on by the skin of our teeth right now. And unfortunately, the targets just keep going up. 2,500 now. Please give me something good. We are not getting the abilities we need. Underline is fine. At this point, we don't have any baseline multiplier, though, so this isn't multiplying anything. 10% chance to re-trigger a tile is just bad, and 2 random bonuses is deeply gambling. So we can try and re-roll it. Roll on free and see if we get something else interesting. And then we save one of our other re-rolls to try and get something else. I feel like Russian roulette is just a little too random when we still have the chances to re-roll it. So I'm gonna take our free reroll on the first one here. If we wind up on this on the last reroll, we might have to take it. But we have a couple of chances to get something that might keep us alive better, so we're gonna take those first. Honestly, we might need the wild cards at this point. This is a really nice one if you get it early. I don't know if it's still worth it now. When we're on the brink of death, what we need right now is like Peric. Something that multiplies our score by 3 if we don't use the letter E. We need something we can really lean in hard on, because these like small scaling improvements are kind of too late to save us. Yeah, well, the problem, Frog, is just that I don't know if I can stay alive to take advantage of it. Right? Like, the question isn't, is it too late in the run? Is it too late in this run? I think I'll take it just because it's decent, and that way we can keep a reroll to try and save us letter-wise in the round and see if we can keep alive that way. None of these are what I was hoping for, but we'll take it and see what we can do. Okay, that's not the letters that I was hoping we would get. What? A J, a K, an X, another H? Man! That's pretty rough. Yeah, this is how I'm feeling. Okay. I think we're gonna have to re-roll some of these. Because, man, this is a rough hand. We only have 2 energy to get to 2,500 points, so we really have to high score here. The problem is, like, I probably want to get rid of, like, the X and the H and maybe one of these two, because they're also pretty hard to use. But we kind of need to keep the special letters if we want to have a decent shot at actually getting points on our new tile here. The J is not very good either. It's lots of points, but it's hard to use. Didn't we already have a J too? This is an 18-point J. Why are all of our gold letters J's and Z's? Ugh. I don't know if I want to drop the second I. The vowels are pretty good. If we could get a C, a K, and a C and an N, we could do jacking or hijacking, which would be pretty cool, right? Because, like, that would be sick. But that is such a gamble. I don't think we can reasonably try and go for hijacking. But getting rid of the H and the X should help us make better words, and it's just a question then of what else do we want to get rid of, what else do we want to keep. No valid words submitted. What else could we try here? Is there anything else worth keeping? I don't know. I'm gonna dump the J. I don't love jumping the gold letters because they are pretty valuable both for our score increases and just for making our deck more powerful. But J is a one-of letter in the deck. It's like the worst thing. Our Q is worth 20 points. Our J is worth 18. It's ridiculous how bad our luck has been on these gold letters. It's stunning. So I think I'm going to get rid of them and see if we can get anything else we can actually use. Because, man, we need some help. Okay, we did get a C. That's interesting. We've got no N for, like, shaking, chasing, but we could potentially do something with this. I just don't know exactly what stands out to me immediately here. We have a baseline chase, shack, but again, we're left with like IE. Shackage. Shays, yeah. Leaves us with Gak in hand, which isn't incredible. But it's not bad on board. Ash cake. Yeah, I mean, if you could do multiple words, that would really change things up. I don't know if it would be a good change, but it would change things up. What else can we do here? Get some Legend of Zelda in here. Chic. Obviously, that's not the only place that word is used, but it's where my brain goes. Hickey? Yeah, we could do hickeys. That's pretty funny. And it does actually get us the S on the gold letter. That might be our best word. That might be our best word. I don't love GAA left behind, but like, it's pretty good. Obviously, we swapped the I to this one. I think I'm gonna take that. I don't think we're gonna beat it here. We'll keep the exclamation mark in hand for the bonus point scaling on it. See if we can use it later to push us up to an exclamation mark here. Without the rerolls, that's gonna be a pretty tall order, but see what we can get. We at least get the double multiplier on our 7 tile to try and give us a little bit more chance of life, but this is not gonna be what we need. It is all, you know what? Okay, hold on. That we have some interesting letters here. We might be able to stay alive. We can make extra dite? Extra. Oh no, it's an exclamation mark, not an I. I thought we had another I, so we could do extra dite. Which would have been really good. But no. I feel there's probably something we can do with extra, though. What else could we do? Obviously, we want this E to go first. Let's just, yeah, just see what it thinks. Do you like any of these words with a wild in there? No? Okay. What about if we put it at the end? Do you like that better? Oh, I did these backwards. You're right. You're right. Average is pretty good, but I think we want to try and get rid of the X if we can. We want to use all of the special letters as much as possible, because these are italics, which make our whole board more likely to keep us alive. Yeah, and something like averaged is pretty good. listen, Yogi. I'm allowed to cheese it a couple of times. It's fine. I give myself that permission. But, no, you're right. It's not a great sign. I feel like we have some real potential on this one, though. I'm just not exactly sure what we're doing with it. We have ED at the end. Exacted, yeah, that's pretty good. Extracted? Can we do that? I don't think we have enough letters. Especially if I don't put them in the right place. Yeah. Exaggerated, if only. Yeah, not enough G's on that one, though. Let's see if we take a look at this with just a different spin on it. What if we don't use the X? Is there anything else that is a 9-letter that doesn't use the X? Because we can use our exclamation mark if we have to. I'd like to keep it if we can, because the point scaling is very helpful. We don't have enough E's for generated. Generated. It's not quite good enough. What else do we have here? We could do... Oh no, I don't have enough. I still don't have enough G's. I think aggregate. But we don't have enough for that. Gathered, graduate, and targeted? Yeah. Targeted's pretty good. The thing about this is we want it as early in the word as we can. What else have we got? I know it's really tricky finding the like perfect word in here. Ideally, we want the 2 italics at the start of the word, because that'll make them more likely to be triggered in future rounds. If we don't make a word that goes past 5 letters, for example, you don't want the 9th slot to have all the modifiers on it. This is exalted probably right now. Oh, we actually can do exaggerate. You're right. No, we can't. We don't have enough E's. There's not quite enough space. We're almost there. That would be pretty cool. But no, that's 1 letter too many, and we don't have the last E. Aggrieved? I don't think is spelled that way. Yeah, no, it's that's not a word as that with that spelling. I think averaged might be the way to go here. We spend the exclamation mark just to get another energy because we are really struggling on the energy, and anything we can do on that front is going to make it more likely that we can build up to the later sections. Well, I mean, they did, Yogi. There's an upgrade that adds a 10th tile. We just didn't take it earlier. I would end with the exclamation mark on this one because making the first tile italic is perfectly good. It's just as good as making the second tile italic, and we have no other modifier letters in this word, so it doesn't really matter where we put the exclamation mark. So I think I'm just gonna hit this and we'll see where we go. It is a little painful having to spend this many gold letters, a wild card and an exclamation mark here, but we're alive, which is the important thing. We're alive. And we have 4,700, though it's gonna be tough. More bold letters, more points on long words. I think the option here is bold letters or reroll, because bold letters would help us to keep generating more golds, but it's a little unreliable still, and the board is not on our side anyway, so I feel like this is a reroll from me here. Try and keep ourselves alive as long as we can and do something more with it. But the bold is the best other choice that we've got. Especially now that we've got some pretty high scoring letters, we can turn them into twice as valuable with bold. I am a little dubious about these score thresholds with what we've got, though. 16 points is fine, but like we don't have an exclamation mark anymore, so we're already losing about half of that. Yeah, exactly, dexterity. That's what I was saying. We have some pretty valuable letters, so like putting this J or Q into bold does actually give us a lot of extra points. So it's probably the best of these options. And then we keep a reroll in case our hand's terrible. The free one could be used, but I think I'm just going to take this because of the ones we've got, it's pretty decent, and we might get something even less useful if we were to reroll them. Well, okay, we got a wild card, which is a nice thing to get on our gold tile. We have another bold O, and I still have our italic X, but we have no E's this time, which makes it a lot harder to use the X. We've got, like... what do we have here? We have toast. Not what we're trying to use. Axolotl? I don't think we have enough O's. Not enough L's either. I just want to spell axolotl. Just because it's not possible doesn't mean I don't want to do it. What else do we have? We've got... yeah, we're close to axolotl. It's just not quite possible. It would have been really nice too, because we would have put one of the O's right on the 5. Like... but there's not enough L's. We just can't quite do it. Not enough L's, not enough O's. What else can we do with this? We have... lots of 4-letter words. We've got some bad 5-letter words. Totals. What else can we do here? My brain likes seeing slaw, but like... I can't do anything with that. There's waddles. Waddles are like the thing under the chin of a rooster. Salutatio? I don't think that's a word. Salutation? Yes. Salutations? Yes. Salutatio? No. Subtotal is a pretty interesting one. Yeah, that's pretty good. Outlasts is pretty interesting too. The only problem with these guys is that they use our O at the start instead of being able to get it on one of the things we actually want to multiply. The first tile's not bad because we did double its value here. But it leaves some junk in our hand too. The nice thing about Outlast is that Outlast doesn't use our wild card. So that is a point in its favor, because if we can save it until we need it or get it to something that's really good, it's worth using. But I don't think we want to use it just because we have it. What else could we do here with this? We could do... My brain really wants to do saxophone, but we do not have any of the letters for that. We got soul. We got outlaws. Yeah, I was looking at outlaws earlier. That is, in my opinion, better than Outlast because it gets rid of our W. But still not incredible. Saxon? Yeah, I mean, you could do that. I think it would not be very good, but you could do it. Spending the N as the wild card as an N for a 5-letter word feels a little underwhelming to me. I'm kind of leaning towards Outlaws because it gets us to 7 letters. It gets rid of our W, and keeping a T, an A, and a wild card is pretty good, even if the X is kind of messy. Yeah, taxes, laxative, some interesting things we can kind of do or almost do. I think I'm going to take Outlaws. It's not incredible. It's probably only going to take us to like here, but like, oh man, we gotta put something in here, and we gotta try and make use of our wild card to get us to 9 letters. And I just don't see how we'd be able to do this here otherwise. So let's re-roll and see what we get. One interesting thing is that I think bolds actually trigger this special improvement both times they go off, which is pretty funny. Okay, we have some interesting letters here. The A, B, C, D, E is pretty funny, but like, a bold E is a pretty good bold to have. Lots of points on it. We don't quite have exile unless we use this, which is not very good, but we have the ED combo. Can we do anything with this? We do tailed? We could do tallied. I want to get to this if we're going to spend the wild card though. Excited? Excitable! Yeah! That's a good one. I was just working my way through that, I think, but I agree, that is a pretty good word. And we do it this way, for sure! That gives us the extra energy twice. Very good. Exactly, Frog. Yeah! That's what we're talking about. I don't think there's anything else I need to change about this. That all looks right to me. No, I want to put that one in here instead. Let's put the italic in the board now, so we have a chance to re-roll it again. That is pretty good. This is why we saved that wild card. Delicious. That's the good stuff. Now, what is this mess? Not the good stuff. Not the good stuff at all. But at least our gold tile is a T and not like another J or Q. I can appreciate that. It doesn't even like Ginny? It likes gin, apparently. We are in a bad spot, though. We only have 2 eyes. This might be a place where we have to use a letter re-roll. There's just no vowels in our hand here, so if we get rid of a Q, a W, and a J, that would give us a decent number of additional letters. Oh, yeah, I know. The thing about Genie is that you can spell it in like 17 different ways, and it doesn't like DJINI, but it likes DJIN. I think we need to re-roll some of these guys. It's cool having these high-value letters, like the J and the Q in hand, but with this mess of other letters, it's going to be really hard to use any of them. So I think a re-roll here is probably what we need to go for. Because, yeah, there's twin, there's wines, there's other little bits, but like if we can get a couple more things, we'd be looking pretty good. A couple more vowels, another decent consonant or two, we'd be in a good spot. Yeah, I think we're just gonna dump these. Sorry, Ezen, I don't know what you mean by words most frequent J. Oh, world's most frequent J, like it keeps coming back. Yes. I think I'm just gonna re-roll these. There's some good stuff we can do with these letters, but these ones really mess our hand up, so let's go and try again. Well, we got an I and an O. Alright. This could be worse. We can do vision? Division? Division's pretty good. Hold on. Is there anything better than division? Because we're so close to this. We could also look at TION. I don't know if there's going to be anything that super does this for us, but like... we got some awkward bits here if we're taking the I and the O out. And I really want that and on the energy if we can get it there, because that'll help keep us alive. Division is pretty good. I'm seeing like visitation, but we don't have an A, we don't have 2 T's. It's too long. We're looking at sword, but then there's nothing you can do with this. We have standard. Not enough other vowels for that. Division gets rid of a lot of our junk. Yeah, I think, honestly, I do think division is pretty good. It's a little sad that we can't get this in on anything big, but getting the O on the gold letter is still pretty good. So, I shouldn't complain too much. Is there anything else fun in here? I think we're just gonna take this. If we had an E, we could do diversion, which would be so much better. But we don't have an E and we can't get one. So, I think we just take division. The TR is a pretty good combo. W is not bad to keep in the hand. It's not incredible, but it's not bad. And this might be enough to keep us alive still. This might actually clear this round for us. Now, that is a decent consideration. Do we keep... Do we make it divisor instead? And keep the I and the extra in here. It means we don't get the double gold, though, and I think that's just worse. I would rather use both of these bolds because we have so many in the bag now. I would rather use both of them and not get much out of this one than lose the double gold. So I think we're gonna go division after all. And I do stream, Telvius. It's been a long time, but I am doing it again. We'll see if we stick with it, but I'm on vacation right now, which means it makes it a little easier to do some streams. Let's hit the button and see what happens. It is worth noting there won't be any streams from like at all next week, and at least the first half of the week after that, because I'm going to be actually on vacation, which I'm really looking forward to. But after that, I should be back at it again. Honestly, I'm kind of stunned we're still alive. I was so sure we were going to be toast by this point. We have been pushing it real far here. Letters in italic, add 5 multiplier instead of 3. That would be great if we had any! This is where I put my italic letters, if I had any! We got 4 italic letters in the whole bag, which is not anything worth relying on. Short letters isn't going to be happening, I don't think. We want long words so we can try and get the extra energy that keeps us alive, and yo-yo sucks. So I'm just going to re-roll this one. Triple is nice. The scaling points is nice, but it's not great. This is pretty fine. Russian roulette might be the choice here, honestly. Just take 2 random things, maybe one of them's good. We want to keep that reroll in case we get a garbage hand and we need to try and bring it back into something we can use. So I don't love it, but we'll go ahead and take the Russian roulette roll on this and see if it gives us anything we can actually work with. We'll find out! What did we get? Underlined letters are more powerful, and 1 letter in the reroll is improved. Oof. That's fine. It's not very good, though. We do have some underlined letters. Most of them are O's, weirdly enough. But, like, it's fine. But we have 2 wild cards, which is excellent. So we can almost certainly do something good with this hand. Rewriting, for example. I don't know if this is necessarily the word we want to go for, but I do see it immediately when we start. If we could do something that only uses 1 of the wilds, that would be even better. What else do we have here? Bewitching? Bewitching, but it doesn't fit anyway. Yeah, written is decent, but the problem is if our bold's at the start, we're not really getting much out of that. And having the E in the, like, 6th slot is also not very good. We want that italic early if we can. We have enticing? That's not how you put the... That's not how you spell that. Enticing. It's not good. You could do it. What else have we got? Ooh, that's an interesting idea. Yeah. Interview. Puts the W at the end. That's some good juice. It does use both of our wild cards, but I think getting the bold on the energy is probably worth it. I think that's pretty good. I don't know if we're gonna find anything better than that. I'd love to not spend both of these, but for 2 energy, I will make an exception. Bold is still only 2 triggers. We upgraded our underlines, which is maybe the one we actually have the least of. But that's how the random gamble goes. That's pretty good. It's not a lot of points, though. That is a downside. Wow, that is a lot of these letters. We could do glottal. That's a fun little weird word. What else do we do here? We got... Hold on a second. I gotta go let my cat out of my office. She was napping, but now she's running around. Give me 1 second to go handle that. Come on, Carmilla, up you go. All right. Cat extracted. Axolotl. Now that's thinking, Eisenhonig. I like that one. What do we have here? We got, I liked catalog, but I don't know if we can actually spell that without using our wild. But again, getting the E on the energy is pretty good. That's probably gonna be hard to beat. Coagulate, ooh. That's also pretty good. We have a bunch of good options in here. The nice thing about catalog, I guess it's about the same, isn't it? I was gonna say get rid of more T's, but it doesn't. It's the same number of T's. Alright, we got a couple of good options you guys have found here. Catalog or coagulate are both pretty good. The nice thing about catalog is it puts both of these at the end. So I think it is better for that reason, yeah. The points bonus is pretty decent now. It's up to 40. Honestly, I am stunned we're still alive. So this is actually turning out to be very good. Same with the cooking. Getting both of these really helped bump the value of our tiles up a lot. So we have got some decent score on our points-wise now. We just multipliers where we're struggling because we have hardly any italic letters to give us bonuses there. But I think we're gonna take this, honestly. It's pretty good. The double energy is really nice, and we gotta try and get something that's gonna give us multiplier. I know, the fourth slot is very multiplier hungry, which is pretty funny. But does mean if we can get a bold in this slot, it's pretty good. Whoa, that's some points, all right. That's pretty good. I was not expecting us to get that in 2 words. We are really, like, maybe gonna turn this around into a decent run. More multiplier when vowels are triggered, that's okay. This one's just bad for us. 2 rerolls is not very good either. This looks like a free reroll to me. I'm feeling the free reroll on this one because, like, this is more multiplier, but it's not permanent. It's just 1 extra multiplier on vowels, so it doesn't really help us. We're gonna take the free here. Okay. Peric is some shenanigans. Triple multiplier, but only if we never use an E. It honestly might be worth it at this point. It's pretty powerful. But, like, never using an E is also pretty hard. There's a lot of them in our deck. But, like, it might be worth it. I know people are feeling the reroll again here, but, like, it's pretty good. Because we've got such high value letters now, Yeah, the problem is a bunch of our E's are upgraded. And exactly, Eisen, having the energy banked means we can kind of rely on shorter words, still getting us decent score. Honestly, the real problem with Perec is just that we haven't had enough italic letters to make it easy on a short word. Well, that's the thing, Yogi. We actually haven't really changed the number of E's in the deck at all. There are always the same number as far as I know. There's just a lot of them to begin with. It is like the most dense letter. We haven't changed the number of anything. All we've done is spread some of them out by making them special tiles. So having the E's is a challenge. If we take it, we would need to keep both the rerolls on purpose because we're going to need to get rid of E's. Oh yeah, that's why it is a problem, dexterity. It is the most common word, it's super helpful to use, but if we don't use it, that triple multiplier goes crazy. However, I think the reason I'm not going to take it here is just because we don't have any flat multiplier. If you have any flat multiplier in here, like for not using rerolls is a really good one, then Perec is guaranteed to be incredible. But since we don't, it's just kind of good. And if it's good and we can't make long words, I don't think it's going to be worth it. So I am going to reroll it, but I really want to take Perec. I might regret it, but I'll reroll it. And these suck too. Dang it. Okay. Honestly, underlines probably fine. We have the upgraded underlines, so giving us more underlined letters is pretty good. Like, and we have enough italics at the start now that it's decent. This isn't very good. This isn't very good. So it's either this or reroll, but I want to keep at least one in case our letters are bad. So I think we'll take the underlined letters and see if it helps us out. Well, it's not underlined in slot 4, it's underlined as late in the word as possible. Because the underlined letters multiply things based on whatever the total multiplier is by the time it gets here. We have some interesting bits in here, though. We have a TION. And some interesting bits in here. We have like almost a lamentation, but that's too long. Limitation? Almost. What else can we do with this? I might need to keep the I and the O and not to go for a TION instead. Because we could do like a... Oh no, I don't have enough I's for militia. But we do have enough for militant? Yeah, we have enough for militant. Militante. You never know. You never know. Sometimes you gotta put things where they don't look like they go. Militant is a pretty good thing. We'll have to keep in reserve. Elation? Yeah, that's a pretty good TION. Militant emo, exactly. What else have we got here we could do? We could do... If we had another I, we could do time limit. I don't think that would work, but it's really close. Oh, that is a fun one. Immolate. It's not quite as good as, well, actually it's about the same, isn't it? The problem is that these are both too early. We don't have enough E's to do timeline, otherwise that would be a fun one. Because Militant gives us an I here at the latest, which is like okay, but not incredible. Elation gives us the IO at the end, which is pretty good. Which is why I wanted ION at the end, right? Because being able to do... Can I make this go away? Yes. Being able to do anything like this means we're gonna maximize the value of the IO. But I don't know what else we've got here. Ammonite, yeah, that's a good point. That's not bad. I missed an M though. Ammonite's pretty cool. It's not quite TION, they're a little bit earlier, but all of them are after the big multiplier tiles, which is the important thing. Honestly, anything after 4 is pretty good. I don't think intimate is valid. Is it? Oh yeah, we do. We do have enough vowels to do that one. It's an option. My brain really wants lamentation, but it's just too long. It's just too long. We have so much energy now, we can kind of re-roll our tiles if we need to. So we've got a little bit of wiggle room here, shockingly. I am stunned. We have, in all the runs I've done of this game, I don't know if I've been so certain I was dead and then having 8 energy left. So that's kind of fun. I am feeling ammonite here, I think. That's a fun word. Leaves us with the TIL here. I'd like to use the L if we could, but I like ammonite. Let's see what it gives us. That is a lot of multiplier. It's gonna give us 85,000-ish? Yeah, 9,000. It's about halfway. And now we have a lot of upgraded tiles again. So we have another TION, and this one has a bold N, which means if we can make it, that's gonna be pretty good, because we can get more energy again, which is very silly. We've got a weird set of letters left here, though. They're good, but like, what are we doing with these? And, like, they don't really go with the TION super well, as far as I can see here. If we had another P, we could do appellation, which... we don't have an A either. Never mind. We could do... Pearl. Obviously it doesn't go with TION. What else can we do? If we don't do TION, that doesn't look like it's going to be the way to go here. Obviously at the end, it can be at the end, that'd be sweet, but it might not be the option we go for this time. We have relation. Do we have partition? No, that's too many T's. Relation is nice, but it's 1 letter short. Creatine? I don't know if I would accept that. It does! Fancy! I wouldn't have assumed that. Portion is not that exciting. We don't actually can't make it, we don't have enough O's. We don't have enough L's for pollen, P-O-L-L-E-N. We could do... no, we don't have 2 P's. We could do... what else could we do? We do tropic... no. We don't have a C. Antelope is an interesting one, yeah. Okay. Oh! Interloper! Interlope. Yeah! Interlope. If only the R or the N could be at the end, though. They're not really in a great spot, but it's still a lot of points. The E, the O, the E again at the end gives us lots of multiplier. I think I'm going to take interlope. change anything about the way this is set up? I don't think so. No, that's a good one. We're taking it. We are going to have so much multiplier on this one. We don't get the bold on anything exciting, but more upgraded letters are still nice. That's a lot of points. That's a lot of points. All right, final round. Well, I mean, it's a bit late for this. It's a bit late for this, and it's a bit late for this. I mean, I don't know if there's ever a good time for this. I think we just free reroll this one. I don't really like any of these. I don't really like any of these either. They're fine. They're just not exciting or good, really. They're all reroll based, and I don't like those. Like, great, 2 multipliers? Thanks. I'll reroll one more time. If we don't get anything good on this reroll, though, I'm gonna stick with whatever we get. Double multiplier for short words. Multipliers for long words, or the same length, or 3 wildcards. If we're ever gonna take 3 wildcards, it would be now. Because it's the last round. So there's no downside to taking a short-term benefit when it's the final round. The double multiplier for short words is pretty cool because that's where all of our multiplier bonus is anyway, so we could potentially try and lean in on that to double our score, but we want to get those underline tiles in, so relying on short words is not super good for us. I think I'm honestly going to take the wild cards here. The twins would be interesting if we took it sooner, but I think now it's way too late. We're going to get at most 7 multiplier out of it probably. So I'm going to take wild card here and see if we can really use those additional letter points. Okay, what are we looking at here? We have some weird letters, but also 3 wild cards. Yeah, twins is great early. It's one of those kinds of multiplier scaling things that we were talking about trying to find at the start. But we just couldn't get it. Right, clop. Wow, it likes clop. I wouldn't have guessed. We have polka. Polka dots. Oh, it doesn't, really? It likes polka D blank blank, but not polka D blank blank blank. Rude. I don't know what it thinks that word is, but I feel like polka dots is entirely valid. Okay. Yeah, prodigal's pretty cool. Why not, right? Put that extra wild card in there, make them prodigals, multiple prodigals, and then we get that extra energy again and the extra 10 points. Puts one of these at the end too, which is pretty good. This one being early is a little too early. That is one downside. You want it to be after the 13 tile. 1 tile later would be really good. Exactly, Chris. What else have we got here? It gets a little hard for me to visualize the words when there's so many wild cards. We've got gradual boardwalk. Yeah, I mean, it works. Yeah, that's a good point. Let's put the wild card earlier. No, it still doesn't like polka dots. doll. Yeah, that's an interesting one with the letters we've got. It doesn't go super far, but at least both of these are in the later end of the word. Oh yeah, 3 wilds does so much dexterity. This is why I was saying, like, normally you don't want this because you burn them really fast and then you basically didn't get a benefit. But in the last round like this, you can do so much with 3 wilds. Broad... No, I don't really see anything there that's going to be better than boardwalk. Backdrop uses all of our wilds pretty early. The only problem with this is it only uses one of these. Backdrops, I think, is a little too expensive for my taste, especially for not including both of our underlines. If we're going to do something, we need to get the score on this hand if we're going to burn all of these. So making sure we're putting the O and the L somewhere where we can really capitalize on them, I think is going to be pretty important. Right, Eisen? The dictionaries are a little weird. The dictionary is a little weird. We have group. I don't like putting the O there, obviously, but like... Can we do anything with group? If we pull this to the back? Maybe not. My friends are my dork group. What else could we do with this? Clipboard? Yeah, I was just trying to see if we can do something with this sort of set of letters. Marigold. Marigold does put the OL at the end. Let's see clipboard. Because that'd be 2 wilds at the beginning and another one there. Because the L is here, I'm still not a huge fan of this. It's good, but like 3... I want to keep 1 wild card, maybe, if we can. If we're not gonna get maximum value out of this, we're gonna want to keep some of these bits. Marigold's pretty good. It puts the D, the italic at the end, which is kind of funny. But that's pretty good. You could do marigolds if you really wanted to bump it up, because these are in sort of prime scoring locations. But I don't love doing this unless we think this is going to give us enough points to win in 1 turn. Because if we win in 1 turn, we want the extra energy to finish the round with 10, because that gives us like 200% score at the end. Plug board? I don't think that's a thing. Apparently it is. I guess a plug board is what they would use on the telephone lines back when they had telephone operators that had to manually connect you to things. I can see that being where that word comes from. Honestly, that's not bad. Yeah, like Marigold is better for having the O and the L at the end. This one does get us to 9 and doesn't use all 3 wild cards, which is pretty nice. Something in shed storage? Yeah, maybe. I like this more than clipboard, at least. We have a like a decent shot at trying to clear this. The only downside of this one is that these 2 italics are at the end, which means they don't get multiplied by our multipliers. It doesn't make a huge difference, so it's like, what, a total of 9 mult that doesn't get added? So that's not a huge deal. Well, you know what? We've been farting around in this one for a while. This is pretty good. I'm gonna take this and we'll see what it gives us. I think it's probably gonna put us about here, but we'll see. What else? Final score? No, it's like a third. It's not 2/3 like I was hoping. Oh, well, hey, we got another wild card. There you go. Monkey. What do we got here? We have Awaken. We have Annoy. Yeah, I see what you're saying there. Annoyance is pretty darn good. Gets us the double on the energy and the double here. That's pretty good. I'd love to get rid of one of these Ks if I could, though. Just sitting on 2 Ks kind of sucks. I don't know if there's going to be a good word that actually uses them, though. They're kind of a pain in the first place. Honestly, annoyance is just really good. Kayak ants? Yeah, now you're thinking. That's using your head. I think we're just gonna go for this. This is pretty good. If nothing else, it gives us some wild additional energy, some extra little bits. It's a little sad to use 2 wild cards again, but you know what? It's probably worth it here. And we get to double our 13 tile too. Like, it's pretty good. I have a feeling it won't be as good as our last hand because we don't have any of our underlines in this board. So it just is not going to be able to compete on that level, but it should still be pretty good. Yeah, again, it's about a third, but a little less. We got another wild card. We are rolling really well at the end here. A lot of E's and A's and K's, though. That does make things a little bit hard. There you go, kayaks. We could do leeks. We could do koalas. Koalas doesn't even need the other wild card. You know what, Eisen, you're right. Return to Klopp. There you go. Karaoke, that's a good one. It's, I guess I'd swap those. It keeps both of these later. Can you plural it? I guess you can. You can make it karaoke's. Karaoke's pretty good. We get both K's out. We get both of these after the 4th letter. We double our upgrade tile again for fun. I honestly don't know if the S actually does much in this word for us. It might be better to hold on to it, because like this is 1 multiplier and 1 point. Like, just karaoke is probably better to clear out our hand and maybe hit the point threshold. If it was more than 1 point and 1 multiplier, it's hard to know. Yeah, this is the big E. We definitely would want to use that one instead if we're trying to score the finishing blow here. And if they are trying to do that, then putting the extra S in is probably worth it just for that extra little push for the end. Because if we think this is the last hand, then it doesn't matter what we keep. But do I think it's going to get that amount? We have a lot of points in this pocket, and having 2 more doublers after this point, I do think this is actually going to clear it. I'm going to go for this because I think it's going to clear. We'll see if I'm wrong or not, but I think it's going to go. Oh yeah, we're good. I am stunned we won this game. I'm stunned we won this game. I did not think that was going to happen. Not bad at all. 6th in the world. I will take that. And you can see how important that energy bonus at the end is. We basically got 2/3 of our score from having leftover energy at the end. It's such a huge difference. there we are. 350169. Not bad. You guys definitely came through clutch in there a couple of times, coming up with some good word ideas. It's an interesting one. I think this game is very interesting if you play it like once a day. It doesn't have the same kind of bingeability that something like its inspiration Balatro has, because these are the modes. It's just the tutorial, a shorter version of the game, a version of the game with lower score requirements, a version of the game with higher score requirements, and a version of the game that kills you. This one is so hard. I haven't beaten Pro yet because you only get one energy back after a turn. It's crazy. So Pro is super hard. But I found that playing it a little bit to get the vibe of it and kind of get a feel for what I like in the upgrades and what's going on there is enough so that when I play the daily challenge, I can really just like zone in on one run and have an idea about what I'm picking and what I'm trying to do that helps me make better decisions and kind of get a more decent run out of it. So it is definitely a cool game, worth taking a look at if you like the vibe of it, but just be prepared that you may find it doesn't have the same kind of like multiple runs in a day replayability that its inspiration has. So I don't know what they'd have to do to change that up, but I feel like it would need something like the dex/stakes progression instead of just this difficulty slider that is fine, but it just like hard feels like normal to me and pro feels like impossible. But I might just not be good enough for pro yet. I can take that as it is. Anyway, that's Wordatro. I'm going to put this away for now, and we might play something else for another little bit. I am going to... Be right back this for a second while I get this sorted out. See you around dexterity if you're heading out. Okay. Yeah, Balatro's fun, but I'm not very good at it. It's not going to stop me, though. It's not going to stop me. Okay, let me just update the category and the game. I have played so much of this game and I'm still only so-so at it. I don't remember how long ago that was. I've got like a bunch of decks that I've gotten some progress on. Some of them I've made it most of the way up the difficulty curve, but it's really a mixed bag on whether or not I've actually played them. I've done most of the challenges. So I've played a lot of this game, but I still would not say I'm particularly good at it. And I don't know what I want to actually jump in on. There's a bunch of weird decks here. Let's go painted deck. Why not? So, anyone who hasn't seen this game before, I would be surprised. Balatro's super popular. It's big out there. The basic premise is you're making poker hands in order to score points in a similar way to the game we were just playing, but one of the things it does for more variety is the decks have like initial starting modifiers and the stakes change the gameplay. So once you've beaten it on a stake, you can play it on the next one. So now on this red stake, you no longer get resources from beating the first of 3 in a round. This one means you have the like requirements are harder. This one means you can have cards you can't get rid of. This one means it's harder to get rid of cards in your hand in a round. We're going to go ahead and play on the blue stakes. I've got it unlocked, and we'll see how this goes. Painted deck is kind of fun because you have big hands, but whether or not we're going to be able to make use of that will remain to be seen. So, we can play the first hand right away, but we won't get any cash for it, which we'll need to use to buy things later in the shop. I think double tags are fun, but whether or not we'll find something good to use them on will remain to be seen. I we'll skip this one because we're at the start of a run, and who knows if this is even going to work. We'll play the big blind, though. So there's a lot of different strategies in this game. You can go for low card, like single high card hands, and that's your whole strategy. You can go for bigger hands. I like going for full houses for some reason. I am really addicted to the power of the full house. It is just very satisfying to me to play them. But when we can get some cards that modify how our scoring works, we'll be able to make better use of them. As it is right now, like you see there, each card contributes its own value to the total of your score. So the hand has its own default value, which for a full house is 40 points and 4 multiplier. And when you play the hand, it counts up what you've put in and any other modifiers that might apply, and then gives you your total score for the hand, and if it beats the threshold, then you move on. Yeah, a lot of people like straights and flushes, too. You get money at the end of the round, a flat amount for each blind, and every remaining unplayed hand also gives you $1. If you save up money, every one over 10 you have gives you interest, so you get free money on top of it. And now's the part where we get to really modify our gameplay. We can take vouchers, which are like permanent changes to how the game treats us. Paintbrush is pretty nice. We're already playing a deck that has additional hand size. We can get even more hand size with a paintbrush. Constellation, or Supernova rather, is pretty cool if we're going to be doing just the same kind of hand over and over again, because it gives us the number of times we've played it as a bonus multiplier. The only challenge here is that this is an eternal Joker, so we can't get rid of it later. The Lusty Joker here makes hearts more valuable, which we don't want, and it's also eternal. We could buy the packs instead, which have some other interesting little bits to them, but I think for now I'm just going to go ahead and buy the paintbrush because I like it and I want it. Is it good at this point? Probably not. Probably better to save our money so we can get a little bit of interest going and keep things alive, but I want it, so I'm taking it. Incidentally, this boss blind has a modifier for us of -1 hand size, and that counteracts the upgrade I just got, so we're playing it basically no change. We almost have a royal flush here, which is pretty crazy. I don't really love relying on that because there's still 42 cards in the deck to give us the 10 of hearts, and we have nothing else that'll help us make that more likely, so rather than relying on that, I'm probably just going to dump some of these. If we drop these out of hand, we have a bunch of pairs that we can try and lean in on, but the other alternative that is valid right now is just going for the flush. Since it's high card values, flush is pretty good, I'm just going to take it. Because they add their value to the hand there, these nice high numbers are pretty helpful. Now we do have a decent full house we could roll here. 3 7s and 2 aces is pretty good, and I think I'll take that too. It's good enough. We got a couple other bits and pieces in reserve, but we'll see what we make do with it. This isn't going to get us to the threshold. Oh, it does actually. I thought we were going to be a little bit short, but I guess the aces gave us just enough score to get through the round. All right, $2 more from extra hands, 5 from the boss blind. Not a whole lot of money, but it's pretty decent. So now we're in a new set of blinds. This means that the shop has been updated, and some of the things in here, like the voucher, will stay until we beat the next boss. These things all reroll every time we get back to the shop. We know that spades are going to be debuffed by the end, but that shouldn't be a huge deal for us. And these aren't very exciting, so we're probably not going to use our double tag here, which gives us a bonus if we skip the blind. We'll just play the rounds out and see if we can't get any money and get anything out of them. Although, to be honest, the small blind does kind of still suck for us. It doesn't give any base money, so we might get $2 to $3 out of it if we're lucky, so maybe we do want to skip it? Unfortunately, the Mega Standard Pack is not what I want. That lets you add more regular playing cards to your deck so that you can change... where is it? I haven't played this in a little bit. You can change the distribution of the cards, which is pretty useful if you want to try and hone your deck towards getting certain kinds of hands, but it's a little random for me. Smiley face is fine, but I'm not a huge fan of it. And strength is a cool one for manipulating your deck, but we don't know what we want yet. I think it's probably going to be better to just hold the money. I could just take this, though, and see if we can get any kind of decent joker in the pack. A joker is going to be really important because the score thresholds start getting higher pretty fast on the blinds. So if we're only getting 300 points a hand, we're going to struggle pretty fast to get to any of these. So I think I'm going to take the jumbo. But if it was a mega pack, I'd feel even better about it because then you get 2. But at least this gives us a chance of a selection of 4 different upgrades, jokers. Well, that's some choices. Mime is a really cool one, but not for us. I think Madness is going to be what we're going to take. Every time you do a small blind or a big blind, it destroys another joker and gives you more multiplier to your multiplier. That's actually huge for us. We have a small number of jokers we can have anyway, only 4 instead of the normal 5. And if we can get other eternal jokers, it can't destroy them. So this is actually potentially so good for us right now. I'm going to take it. Right now, it doesn't do a whole lot for us, but it will. Madness is very fun if you can get it to work. So we're definitely going to go do that small blind now, because just by selecting it, we improve our madness. So now it adds 50% more multiplier at the end of our hands, which is going to make a huge difference very quickly. I could try to keep some other things here, but we're going to reroll for some full houses because I like them. We didn't get anything that I wanted there, but we do have enough diamonds now to do a flush, so I'll go for that. Your madness can't be improved. That is a bold statement there, Yogi. Any madness can become more exquisite. Let's go ahead and do the flush, though. It's perfectly good here. I don't want to burn all my discards when I have hands that are decent. Madness bumps us up to 6 times multiplier, which helps get to our score threshold nice and easy. Again, not super great in here. I'm going to go ahead and dump all of these. Yeah, all of those. We did get an 8, so we got what I was hoping for. That'll get us another full house, which should put us just barely over the threshold. Might be a little under. We'll see how it comes together. No, it should be good. Yeah, we're good. Every time we are able to go into the blind, Madness gets better, so getting it at the start of the run like this is huge. We are going to have almost no money for a while, though, which will suck, because I can't buy anything now. But we are scaling already, which is going to really help the long run here. Now we're up to double multiplier. It doesn't upgrade on the boss blind, it just upgrades on the other 2. Well, we have a flush here. I think I'm just going to take the flush. It's already pretty good, and we can save our discard in case we don't get anything we can actually play. We really need to start upgrading some of the stuff going on here, because this hand is... oh yeah, Madness increases without a joker to eat. It increases if there's a joker that it could theoretically eat, but can't eat right now. Like, it's just excellent. Except if you have jokers that it can't, that you can't afford to lose. I think we're going to do the full house here, though. We don't have any reason to keep stacking the same tile. If we picked up that Supernova Joker, we'd have a good reason to keep doing full houses every time. There's not really that kind of reason to do it here, but it's just enough points to put us over the threshold. No, Madness can't destroy other Eternal Jokers, so we can get Eternal Jokers safely. We're going to need to, because anything else we get is going to get immediately eaten by Madness. So that is worth keeping in mind. I think we're going to save our money here. I would love to cash in and get something else good. Green Joker is pretty powerful. It still gains. Yeah, it gains no matter what. It gaining is actually separate from the destroying. It is gain mult and destroy a Joker. It is not gain mult because destroy a Joker. So the green Joker is really good if we can afford to take bad hands, because if we ever discard, it loses power, but if every time we don't discard, it scales up. And with this giving us multiplication on our multiplier, those synergize really well together. So we're gonna take this and just see if we can figure this out. It might make our hands a little bit junky and it might not work, but this is a pretty nice eternal buddy for madness if we can figure out a way to not die immediately. So let's give it a try here. So we know spades are debuffed. That doesn't mean we can't play them, but it does mean they don't give us any value if we do use them. So like I can do king, queen, jack, 10, 9 here, and I could use the spade instead of the club, but if I use the club I get 10 points, and if I use the spade I get no points for that card. It doesn't change the hand as a whole, they just don't contribute. And I think we'll do this for now. Is there a better hand that jumps out at me? No, and we're not re-rolling, so we'll hopefully be able to get something to happen here. Also worth noting, Jokers activate in the order that they're placed. So we want this one to be on the left and Madness to be on the right, because Madness multiplies, whereas this just adds, so you want it to multiply after the add happens. I think we're gonna straight again. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 is pretty good. We have 2 pair here, but if we can get that to actually do something else, it'd be really useful. So we'll drop the straight and see what it does for us. Well, happy to teach you something there, Yogi. We need one more hand to finish off this round. We have a mess of pairs. We can do a full house with this, but it's gonna suck because all the cards are debuffed and low value, but I think it'll still be fine just based on the multiplier value. So let's do that. Ideally at this point, it would be cool if we could get, I think it is, actually I don't remember if that's exactly what it does. I think Stuntman trades hand size for points. I thought it was discards for a minute, but I don't think it is. It's been a while since I played this last. Ooh, clearance sales. Good early, but I have no money. I would really like some money. So we can at any point check the collection to double check what any given thing does. So like if we wanted to know what jokers do what, or remember like what's going on with the different things in the deck, they are available to go look back through. So for example, I was just talking about Stuntman, and Stuntman I think is at the end. Yeah, he's here. He is plus 250 chips, minus 2 hand size, so that doesn't do exactly what I wanted. But if you're ever uncertain, you can come back in there and see. As long as you've got it once, you can double check what it does. Same for all the other types of cards. But now we have a little bit of a question here. I'm looking at this and debating some crimes. The bank card lets you go to negative money, which is pretty funny. I don't think it's actually great. Oh, we have the needle coming up too. Okay. Interesting. So we could buy the bank card just to buy more stuff in the shop right now, but then we'd have negative cash we'd have to pay back in order to get back to it. And yeah, Madness will eat it immediately, but we buy it because we're going to use it in the shop right now. The only problem is the things that I want to buy in the shop are actually only worth $16, so it's not super worth it. I'd get to like -4, and then I'd run out of things to spend money on. So the question is instead more, do I want to buy the Jumbo Spectral pack? Because Spectral cards could do some crazy stuff, especially if all of your jokers are eternal. And The voucher makes everything permanently cheaper, which is pretty good. Reroll is, I'm pretty sure, a terrible idea right now. It's too expensive at this point in the run to be rerolling. Our choices are basically buy the voucher now or wait and save money and buy the voucher later. And I think that's the better choice. So we're just going to go to the next round and buy this on a future round once we got a bit of interest going. This is going to give us no cash immediately except we get on our hands, but it will let us scale our jokers, so it's going to be good to do the small blind basically every time. I may never use my double tag anymore. Just getting this scaled up to even higher multiplier is going to be super valuable for us over the long run. Yeah, needle might be a problem, but we have enough time here to play some hands and get our base multiplier up so that madness can go crazy. Exactly, Chris. This is almost a straight, and this is a flush, so I could get rid of them for that, or I could just do a small hand here, get rid of a couple of cards, and feed our green joker. So I think I'm going to do that. It's probably not going to be worth a whole lot of points, which is fine. The point here is just building our score a little bit. Because every +1 mult there right now is actually like +2.5. So it'll scale up really fast as these both continue to grow. That's kind of a messy hand as well. Do I just do a pair? Do a two pair? Do I do a high card and just dump these? The nice thing about this is we can intentionally play low value hands to buff up our green joker without putting us over the score threshold. As long as we don't fail to meet it by the end, we can still reap the benefits. It just means we won't make as much money afterwards, but like that's not such a big deal. I'll just do a high card here. It's intentionally going to be very low scoring. I just have to do decent hands on the next two. And we did get what I was hoping for here. We did get enough to make a straight. That should give us a good chunk. And then we just have to get one last decent hand and we should be okay. It is not free, but with the multiplier giving us a good chunk on 79, it should be basically there. Oh, it's actually, I overshot it a little bit. Fair enough. Fair enough. Get a little tiny bit of cash for the interest, because it's per every $5 that you have left over. For some reason I thought it was 10, but that's wrong. And 1 for the extra hand. Ooh. Rocket would be really nice, but it would get immediately eaten, so I can't take it. Rocket is a really nice way to get some extra income, because every time you beat a boss with it, the amount of extra income it gives you every turn goes up, every round you play. But Madness is going to eat it as soon as we finish the boss blind, so it's basically worth $1. For $6 to spend, that's not going to work. So I think what we'll do is we'll do this next blind, we'll come back, we'll buy the voucher, and then we'll buy something else to go with it, hopefully, and maybe make use of our money here a little bit better. This is a decent pair of jokers, but we need a little bit more oomph if we want to make this work, so getting some Arcana packs is going to help too, but for now, we're just going to roll with it and see what we can do. Up to 3 times multiplier on the Madness, which is pretty tasty. We've got a lot of pairs again. I'm just going to play a 2-pair, get some cards out of the hand, and build up our green joker some more. Green joker is really good as long as you aren't relying on hitting a specific hand early in the game before your deck really can do that for you. This is a little messy still, though. Let's just do another 2-pair here. Drop the 4. I don't love it, but it's fine. We'll see what we can do with this. Every time we bump up our multipliers, it makes us more likely to survive in the long run. The needle is going to be hard, though, if we don't get something we can take with us into the final round. This does help. Almost a straight flush, but at the very least it's still a flush, and that'll bring us over the score threshold for this round. Now we can buy a joker to take into the boss joker, because this madness effect only happens on small blinds and big blinds. It doesn't destroy things on the boss blind. At least I'm pretty sure. We'll see if I'm right when I play it, but in theory, it only destroys things on the small blinds and big blinds. Do I prefer the slower animation speed? Oh, yeah, that's just like a I never bothered to change it thing. I could bump it up. Yeah, bump it up to 2 for you there. See if that feels a little better. Gives me more time to think. We're going to buy the clearance sale here because it's just a good discount for the rest of the run. And I'm probably going to buy that spectral pack too, because there's a really huge hit we could get in a spectral pack. It's a bit of a gamble, but like, man, it's so good if we hit it. Ah, we didn't hit it. Well, 20 bucks is still 20 bucks. Immolate's pretty good. It might destroy good cards, but it gives us a good influx of money right now. Wraith basically is awful. It burns all our money for a Joker that's immediately going to get eaten, so that's no good. But Immolate gives us some free cash at the cost of potentially some good cards. Yeah, it took some nice ones, but we got a pile of money now, so we should be able to use this a little bit better. Let's see what the tarot card packs have for us here. We get one of these, and they all do different things. Justice cards, which give you double the multiplier when they score, but can smash with a 1 in 4 chance. Temperance just gives you money based on your jokers. Could be really good, but we don't have expensive jokers. Wheel of Fortune has a small chance to upgrade one of your jokers. It almost never happens. Death lets you convert a card into a different card. Very cool if you have upgraded cards. And Judgment gives you a joker, which means none of these are really great for us right now. They're not bad, but like they're not good either. We could really high roll on the Wheel of Fortune and see if we get something to buff one of our 2 permanent jokers. That could be nice. Or we could death our 2 into an ace. Yeah, I'm thinking that too, Chris. The other option is to take the Judgment, keep the joker for the boss round, and then sell it afterwards if it's not good. It's not a huge difference. The thing about death is, since none of these are upgraded, we're not really getting the value out of it. So both of these are pretty low value. This could at least have a chance of high rolling. I don't think it can create eternal jokers, but we'll hit it and find out. Oh. Well, interesting. We got one of the jokers whose only purpose is to be sold. So, great. It gives us another double tag, which means if we skip a blind, it'll double it'll give us another copy of the thing that we would get as a reward for skipping it. But because we get penalized by madness for skipping blinds, we're probably not going to want to do that, which means we basically just traded $4 for $2, which is a little unfortunate. But so it goes. So it goes. If we could get, like Eisen says, a mega spectral pack coming, that would be worth it. But we'll see. I think at this point we're just going to have to YOLO this, because one hand worth 2,600 points is going to be difficult for us to get. That's not easy. We don't have the things that are going to make this viable. We could buy Mr. Bones, just to make sure we don't die on the single hand. He'll explode if we don't get it, because Madness will eat him on the next blind, but we could sell him before then? Yeah, you know what? It's a bit of a like insurance purchase, but let's buy Mr. Bones here and then go into the next round. So we only get one hand to make our required score here, which is not looking good with all of these pairs. We cannot afford to discard long term because it'll burn our green joker value down again. And that with Madness is what's keeping us alive right now. But if we don't play something good here, there's no way we're going to hit that score threshold. So I might have to discard some just to see if we can make something happen here. The deck is very random still because there's nothing nothing changed of what we've got in there. We are close to a straight. We are close to a flush. But we don't actually have anything. I don't know if I trust 2 pair on this round. Mr. Bones will save us as long as we get at least a quarter of the required score. So that's not too bad. We only have to get like 800 points to be safe. But do I trust a 2 pair here? I don't know. I don't know. I think we're gonna do 1. I don't know if this is the best way to do it, really. Trying to get a single club is probably safer. A single spade is probably safer than trying to go for a pair on one of these when there's only 6 viable cards that could do it for us. Okay, let's get rid of these ones and see if we can get a single spade or club. It's like a 50% chance on each of these as to whether or not we get one. We got one. All right. Yeah, double check the deck because of Immolate. Hey, it's true. It's not exactly 50%, but it's still definitely way safer to do it this way. Actually, the other hand is slightly better, so we're going to go clubs. We do actually have a full house, though, now. We have the 8s. That is a good point, because if we look at the value here, the flush and the full house are very close, but this is actually still going to be more points for us. So we're going to take the full house instead. And we actually hit the threshold. We're good. Nice. The safety Mr. Bones was not needed. Now, we are going to have to get rid of him, because otherwise we're about to get obliterated. But, you know, you get what you get. You get what you get. Rerolls cost less. I'm probably going to skip this one. I don't know. We'll see. I am going to sell Mr. Bones, though, because he's about to be evaporated for no value if we don't sell him. Ride the Bus is interesting. It would give us another way of getting flat multiplier, but only if we don't play any face cards. Which is possible, but starts getting a little messy when we also don't want to discard and we haven't been able to get them out of the deck yet. We're going to go ahead and get both of these, though, because these are good things. So first off, we'll take the Celestial Pack. These packs let you increase the value of the types of hands you play. Unfortunately, neither flush nor straight nor full house showed up in our options here. And so any one that you take will make it a better baseline value when you pick that hand again. I'm thinking we're taking 2 pair or just pair. So that we've got something we can take as an emergency hand if we don't get anything good that still has a little bit more value to it. Because with our hand, with our hand size, we are usually going to have something else, but at least then we can make value out of the pairs if we don't get anything we want. I'll take 2 pair, it's fine. I don't know what the best is here. It's probably a little bit subjective on how your approach is. Probably pair is more reliable, so that'd be a better choice, but I'm taking 2 pair. In the Arcana pack, we've got the Devil, which makes gold cards, which gives us money if they're held in hand at the end. Judgment to try and high roll another weird joker. And Star, which makes things into diamonds. I don't really like any of these again either. Because of our options here, they're not super good for us. We could just roll another joker and sell it again, but that's not super exciting. At this point, I don't think it really makes a difference. What is our boss? 0 discards. Well, that's normal days for us now, so that's fine. I think, just for fun, we'll make some more stuff into diamonds. Because why not? Maybe we'll want to be able to get those flushes later. I think we leave all of this. Ride the Bus could be good, but because we have so many face cards in the deck and we don't want to discard, I don't think it's a good choice yet. So we'll just hold on to our money so we get that maximum interest, and we'll go again. Alright, what do we got here? We have a straight going on right away. So we'll take that for our starting hand. Looking good. But we do need a lot of points still, so this isn't going to be enough if we just slow roll this. We can take another straight here. Alternatively, we could take what we just upgraded, and we can take our 2-pair. It's almost as good. But I think just for the, well, yeah. We'll take our straight. It's fine. Keep that ace. Bring these ones. And see what that gives us. It's a pretty high value hand, so we should get some decent points out of it. Yep, now we just need a little bit more to push us over the threshold. So we'll take our 2-pair. And the nice thing about a hand that doesn't use all the cards is you can use it to get rid of something you don't want if you need to dump something out of hand. Doesn't matter here because we're going to clear it for sure, but it can be helpful. Okay, again, not really super great choices for us. Let's take the Arcana pack, though. Again, Temperance is bad. We don't have very many Jokers. Death, we have nothing to copy. And High Priestess, we'll take it. This gives us 2 random planets. And at this point, since we have so few planet cards, being able to upgrade anything is good. Upgrading our 2-pair and our flush will help us out. We could reroll here, but the rerolls are still pretty expensive, so I'm not sure about that one. Yeah, the flush and the straight both are really nice planet upgrades. They scale really well, so going for them is very nice. We could take a standard pack, try and get some fancy cards in the deck, and we have enough money that we can afford to just see what they've got. Hey, fun? Yeah, that's fun. Alright, we're going to take this one. This has 2 different modifiers on it. It's Steal, which means if it's held in our hand at the end of the turn, it gives us bonus multiplier. And it's a planet, which means if it's played in the if it's held in hand and in the final hand, it gives you a planet card for whatever that hand was. That's actually a pretty nice thing to pick up there. Let's go again. Big blind time. Well, we have a straight again. The game's really feeding us straights right now, so we'll take them. A lot of pairs. We do have a flush, so let's take that. We just upgraded it with the Jupiter. So the base value is a little higher than before, which is nice. At this rate, we will be pretty safely at our score threshold. Yeah, one more round. Doesn't really matter what we do here, except that it will contribute to our run information. So, if there is anything in there that cares about the hands we've played, it's good to make sure we're playing things that we care about, because they will come up again later. We'll just do another flush here. And yeah, if we can get something that buffs the chips, that'll make a big difference to our overall scoring, because you want those to be as close together as you can. And right now, multiplier is getting boosted over time, but chips are not. $10 more in the pocket, and there's some nice... The Fortune Teller is a nice scaling multiplier joker, but we can't take it because it's not eternal and will get evaporated. Let's grab both of these again. We have a straight and a flush. We've been playing a lot of straights, so I'm going to take the straight card this time. It is pretty helpful. Let's see what's in the Arcana pack. Hermit's really nice. That's just $20 free. There are some other useful cards here, but that's pretty good. Since we got that, we're going to buy the voucher. Now we can re-roll for cheaper, and we'll re-roll. Yeah, Blue Joker is not bad. It's not great, though. It is a way to give us some more flat chips bonus, but it's kind of fixed in value. Since it's always based on the number of cards you have left in your deck, you need to keep adding cards for it to grow, and since it's eternal, we can't ever change our mind on it, so I don't think that's going to be what we want. This doubles face cards, which we don't really rely on right now, so we're going to leave that one too. I'll do one more reroll here, see if we can get anything else interesting. Hanged Man is fun. Let's take that. And we can't take the flower pot, so we'll leave it alone. We are now on water. We start with 0 discards. This should be fine for us because we rely on 0 discards most of the time anyway. We're gonna take, we could do a straight here, or we could do a full house. Or a flush. We have a couple of choices. Full house isn't actually that good because it's not upgraded, so it's probably better for us to do the flush or the straight. It'll just be more points, so we'll take the flush this time. It's just going to be more valuable for us. Straight is technically more powerful. I guess, yeah. Yeah, that's a fair point. If it was a straight flush, it would be worse, but it's not. I think it'd be worse, right? Oh no, straight flush has still a higher base than we've got now even. That's fine. You can tell I'm a little out of practice with the exact scoring of the different hands. We'll take the straight though, it's still pretty good. I forgot I bought the Saturn, so it's also buffed. And what do we got here? We have another straight. In fact, I'm going to keep the pair and put this one in instead. That way we have a potential for a full house afterwards, but this should give us enough point anyway, unless the values are a little too low. We'll find out. The one extra mult being multiplied by 4 is probably enough to push us over the line, though, no matter what I did. Yeah. Alright. That's some points. What do we got here? This is an interesting one. Because these are eternal, they are potentially viable. This one's no good. But flashcard, we could try and re-roll a bunch. It gives us some more flat multiplier. And if we can get even more re-roll cost reduction, then we could potentially scale that one really well. Let's buy our Arcana pack anyway, since we're going to do that for sure. I'm going to take this here now, because it'll let us get another Hermit. Full copies the last thing that you used, and that will give us another $20, which is pretty sweet. As long as you have at least $20, the Hermit is a free $20 every time you find it. Let's see here. I was originally going to Hanged Man some of the 2s out of my decks, just so that I'm not grabbing such low score cards as often. This consumable slot is fine. It's not that exciting. After you buy a voucher... that's the wrong place to go. After you buy a voucher... there are upgraded versions of the vouchers that can show up instead. And this one's cool. Whether or not it's actually going to help us is pretty unlikely, but it's neat. So we'll buy it, just in the off chance that it becomes useful. But Crystal Ball is not my favorite of the vouchers. I think... I'm just debating if we want the flashcard here or not. It's more multiplier, which is still not going to solve our points problem, but it is more multiplier, and more multiplier is still pretty good. So that's all I'm really debating on. The problem is, right now, I don't really want to re-roll yet. We have a good amount of money, so I could burn some of this and get a bunch of extra multiplier, but I just don't know if that's what I want. It's tricky. We only have 4 slots, and everything we buy is permanent. That's what I'm worried about, Chris, exactly. We have a little bit of money, but we can only bump it up like 20 mult, which is not that exciting. I'm going to take the Jumbo Standard pack, see if we can get any other interesting modified cards in the deck. Lucky cards are fun, but they're not super reliable, but I'll grab one anyway. And we're just going to jump in. We'll see what we can do with this. Don't want to do that. Want to re-roll these once? Let's re-roll these once. No, those both suck. And one more. Nah. Nah. It was worth a shot. Let's keep going. We're playing all the blinds because the benefit to our madness is significant. I think we're just going to delete some of our 2s because I don't really want them. And we're gonna go jack, 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 8, 8 for a nice little full house. We really are struggling on building up our hand value, getting any modifiers on our cards. We are not in a great spot still. We're not in like terrible trouble, but we're not doing great either. Committing to the madness early is fun, but it's also a pretty significant limitation on what you can choose to do later. Let's do this so we get our flush bonus from the blue seal. Flushes are pretty nice and easy to make. We could have played a straight, but then we wouldn't have been able to keep this 8 in hand, so we wouldn't actually get the card at the end. Alright, $6 more in the pocket. We use Jupiter. We are going to grab the Arcana pack, see what's in here. Wild cards are not my favorite. Bonus is more points. Of all the things we've got here, we're going to put some cards in bonus. Make our kings bonus. We still have 4 of those? No, we do still have 4 kings. So let's make our kings bonus. That way, if we play one, they give us 40 points instead of 10, which is pretty nice. What else we want to do here? I could roll on the buffoon pack just to see what's in it. It's probably not worth it, but okay, I'll try. What's in here? That's a good Joker, but I can't take it because it's not eternal and will get instantly evaporated. Blue would let us double our madness, but because it's not eternal, it just immediately fails. So that's sad. And as a result, I think nothing in here is good, and we just take one of these and sell them again. One of the rares. Because we don't want Drunkard. We don't want to discard at all. So it goes. Let's take the blueprint and then sell it. Because it would work even. These work together, which would be wild. We would get so much multiplier out of it, but we can't do that, so. Goodbye, blueprint. Actually, are we on a boss blind or not? No, we're not on a boss blind, so I can't even save it for a round. Womp womp. Anything good? I'll buy an earth that'll upgrade our full house. Alright, let's keep rolling. Ooh, that's kind of a messy hand. I guess we'll do our flush. It's available, so we'll take it. What are we doing with this now? Probably full house here. Good enough. And one more hand of anything will do. We didn't get our planet. There's only a single card that can apply it, so it's not like we're likely to see it. But it would have been nice to get another one of those planets to buff us. Either way, that's another blind down. Alright, so let's level up our straights. The planets are almost always going to be worth taking for us, unless it's like the straight flush one that we saw, where we're unlikely to actually get the value out of it, because that hand is not likely to come up with our deck the way it is. I'll take the Earth again here for some more full house value. The really fun thing to do with those planets is just to stack them all on one hand type. So like I could just do high card, lean in on high card, and really see how much we can push it, which probably would work decently well, but I don't know, man. I feel like I need to have cards, jokers that more directly synergize with that for that to be the way I want to go. I like playing different hands. This one might be a problem though. No repeat hand types this round, so if we did build all in on one, we wouldn't be able to keep doing it. So we're gonna go for the straight here first. And we won't be able to do straight again, so we'll see what else we get. Not a bad hand though. We've got A messy hand. We have almost nothing. Oh, that's no good. I can just burn a hand here. We have 3 to spend. So it doesn't actually matter that we don't have anything good. But like, man, we don't have anything good. I'm just gonna get rid of some low value cards, I guess. Here you go. Have a high card. Can I get anything that actually gives us points? Still not really. We have a 2-pair here. So it is playable because it's not a hand we played before, but it's not a great hand. It may still be enough to put us over the threshold though. We'll see. Let's give it a shot. Also, lucky cards are fun. We haven't actually used this one yet, but every time you play one, they have a small chance, 20%, to give you 20 extra mult, and a even smaller chance to give you $20. So, will they give us anything this time? No. But we didn't really expect it to. We still have enough to score through the round. Alright, more cash in the pocket. Let's use our planet. 2 more Arcana packs and Hone. Hone's not my favorite of the vouchers, but you know what? It's a voucher. We'll buy the voucher. As long as we stay over $25, we're not losing any interest by spending money, so it doesn't really hurt. I like the money, we take the money. Arcana pack, what do you say? Well, we can destroy 2 cards we don't like, we can create more planets, or we can take 2 random tarot cards. Taking out our low value cards, manipulating our deck further, is probably good for us here. The Emperor is pretty random, so I'm just going to go ahead and destroy a 2 and a 4, because I don't want them. And let's do a reroll or 2 and see if we get anything interesting. Devil's fine. Star's fine. Misprint's fine. 1 more reroll. Anything? Strength. I'll take a strength. Strength is fun when you can't discard, because you can hold on to it until you need to increase the value of cards to make a hand that otherwise wouldn't be possible. It's also really useful for finagling your card values to be what you want them to be, but it has some fun other uses like that. Okay. I see the full house. I see the flush. Which one's better now? Full house is better now. So let's take a full house. That is a good chunk of points. We are scaling pretty good. Let's do another full house here and see if our lucky card procs. Hey, $20! There you go! We got the rare one. We'll take the cash. Alright. Making money the easy way. King's fun, it makes the hand effects go multiple times, but it's not eternal, so it will immediately vaporize. Red card is cool. It gives you some nice extra mult, but you can't control how many of those you're gonna see. We will see the maximum number of them because we're playing all the lines. If you skip, you miss 2 packs every time. But when it's eternal and you can't do anything else with it, I don't know if it's what we want. Hard to say. Yeah, Chris, the flush full house, the flush 5, those are fun fake hands that you can get in this game for sure. We'll buy another Hermit, buy the Pluto. Money's easy in this game. All you have to do is just constantly get Hermits every time you do anything. Right? Like, what else is there to it? Nothing. Easy. Buy another Earth. This is where having that rerolls card would be nice. The problem is the rerolls do get $1 more expensive every time you do them, so they don't stay cheap. That's no good. Do 1 more reroll here. I don't want either of those. Let's check the standard packs and see if they got anything fun in them. Yeah. I could do some more kings. Let's take another king. And what do we got in this pack? a bunch of holographic and foil cards. Foil is an interesting one, 50 extra chips on the values. It just makes it a big payout on the blue side, and holographic is the same except on the red side with 10 multiplier. Since we have this though, that 10 is actually 55 multiplier currently, which is pretty decent. I think I'm going to take this one just for fun. And you can still apply other effects to it. It doesn't take over the things that write on the cards like the points one that we put on the kings earlier. So let's get back into it. Big blind time, let's go. What do we got here then? This is kind of a messy hand. I don't really see much going on in this one. We have 2 pair, but that's kind of nothing. We can turn into something else though. I'm gonna make you into a... Let's upgrade you 2. Alright, full house acquired. Job's a good one. And we actually beat it in one go. There you go. That's not great for us. We want to take more hands usually to keep leveling up our green joker. But it is still fun sometimes to get a quick win. Level up our full house again. All preparation for the eternal 10-4. Yeah, we'll see. Let's grab another celestial pack here, see what we can get in it. Well, I'll take another full house. I like full houses. And an Arcana pack. Yeah, this is good. Let's make another one of these. So, when you use Death, it turns the left card into the right card. And since you can rearrange them, that can turn anything you want into anything else you want. And this gets us another Steel and Blue Seal card in exchange for our last 2, which is a pretty good deal in my opinion. Anything else in here? Another Blue Joker. I don't want you. Swashbuckler was often good, but not in this hand, because we have very few jokers that can have value. And this is very funny with our desire not to discard. One more reroll, and we'll see what else we get. DNA is pretty cool, but Madness eats it, so we're moving on. All hearts are debuffed, okay. Well then, we could go... Not very much. We have a 3 of a kind here, but I don't see a whole lot else of actual interest that we could do anything with. We can just play the 3 kings, get them out of hand, but I have a feeling it's actually going to be better for us to take the janky straight here instead. It's not great to play our blue seal card, but it'll still just get them out of hand, go again. Or we can keep this and just dump some of these cards. We have 4 hands to play. We're getting score pretty fast. I think it is going to be better for us to just dump the hand. This is really nice if we keep it, so let's try not to burn it for no reason. And every hand we play still buffs our green joker, so it's still worth it. We do have a lot of kings now. We could play 4 of them, but it's actually better for us to play a full house instead. So I'm going to do that. A full house it is. This should take us all the way. Yeah. Yeah, that is a tasty full house. Again, I probably should have done another low-scoring hand just to keep getting more points, but I can't resist. I gotta go for the big full house when you give me the big full house. All right, Blue Brainstorm, another excellent joker. Can't take it. Hieroglyph is an interesting one. I'm not gonna take it right now. It bumps you back an ante, so you can keep building your deck if you're not confident you're gonna be able to win the later blinds. Ooh, mouth is kind of nasty, actually. But it also reduces your number of hands by 1, and I don't like it, so I'm not taking it. It can be nice if you are early in the run, but like this, I don't think it's going to make much of a difference anymore for us. I'm going to burn the 3 and the 4 out of our hand with the Hanged Man. Am I? Yeah. And I'm gonna make another blue seal steel 8. Here you go, Death. Go for it. Alright. Other Arcana pack, what have you got for us? Hierophant, Moon, and Lovers. I guess we're just gonna turn some more things into bonus kings. Why not? We got a pile of kings in there, let's put them to work. I could really use another Joker, though. We're on the second last ante, and I still have only got 2 of them. What do you say, Judgment? I say no thank you. I'll sell that back. Reroll again. Odd Todd's no good. Hierophant I'll take. One last reroll. I'll take this, but it's probably not going to be used. Upgrade our pairs. Alright. Getting close to the end here. Let's see how we go through the small blind. Well, we've got some good flush action going on here. I am happy to take advantage of that. Lots of points there, but still enough to do at least one more hand. We have 2 of these now, which is pretty cool, so that means we'll get 2 cards of whatever we play on the winning hand, which means I kind of want to manipulate what we win with now, because this hand's not very interesting. So if we get rid of the queen, the 3, the 6s? No, we'll keep the 6s. 10, the 9? I don't know, this isn't great. We're rolling for another king, basically. If we just play a high card here, if we can save this to get something nice with the kings and get another full house, that would be real good. And we'll get some good points on this still, but not 30,000 points. And there's all our kings. That was what we wanted. So now we can get a full house, and it'll give us 2 full house upgrades, which should be real good. So let's do it. Look at those points. All right, our full houses are pretty strong now. Let's go ahead and use these. Perfect. It's everyone's friend, Gros Michel, but unfortunately, it's not eternal. We can't take it. Let's grab our Arcana pack, I guess. What's in here today? Another Hermit. It's like, okay. The other stuff's fine. I'm taking the Hermit again. Whatever. Let's just go ahead and buff these aces while we're at it. Why not? Get this out of hand. And Hermit. More money for more rerolls and more purchases. Celestial Pack says... Ooh, flush, I guess. Upgrade our flushes a little bit more. Do a reroll or 2. Well, satellite's just money, but I could just keep getting hermits for free, and then I don't need satellite. There's another flush upgrade. It's good to have these in reserve in case we can't get the things that we would want if we're not getting full houses. We're really not getting very good Joker synergies here. It's fine, like this is doing all the work we need, turns out, but it would be fun to have something else. One more reroll? Nothing. Nothing. Wily Joker, and that the one that needs 3 of a kinds? Yeah, it would, I guess. That's a good point. I probably should have grabbed that one, but whatever. Whatever. Now we can go straight for a full house here, but I'm not going to. I think we're just gonna burn some cards and try and bump our green Joker up a little bit more. Yeah, Yogi, it's definitely true. Eternal makes everything a little bit worse. Let's just burn a hand so that we get that extra multiplier. It's a lot of numbers. All right, let's get rid of you and you and you and you. Because I'm pretty sure if we play a single full house, we're going to end the round. So this is even better now. We get to keep one of these. Let's go ahead and make one of our jacks lucky. Two of our jacks lucky just for fun. Yeah, right? You play an unbuffed hand and you get nothing. And then you play one of these big full houses and bam, 1 billion points. This should have gotten more than 90,000 total points. Yeah. Yeah. By a lot. By a lot. Getting that blue seal really made a big difference on the likelihood of us winning this run. Let's go ahead and use our earths. And celestial pack, maybe another earth? Yeah, another earth. We're loving the full houses today. What's in the mega standard pack? Anything fun? I mean, it's not steel, but I'll take another blue seal. And I don't think I want anything else. Yeah. I guess I'll take another ace or a jack. It doesn't hurt to have another one of those face cards that can give us more full house potential, so I'll take the ace. Is the 10 decent for us? We do have 4 10s, but it's glass, and I don't trust it. Glass cards are good, I don't trust them. Let's go ahead and buy this so we can use it later. I don't want that one. There is that 10-4 we were joking about, but it's not actually viable for us. Man, nothing. Alright, that's fine. One hand type this round. We want it to be full house. Can we get a full house in the opening hand? Yes, we can! We're just going to probably win this in one then. Let's go ahead and Hierophant 2 of these cards, so get it out of hand. And we're going to play our full house here. Does this give us everything we need? Oh yeah, it does. We're laughing. I like the big hands for this. The having 3 extra hand space with painted deck and the paintbrush early on. Grabber's fun, but it's kind of late for it, but I'll take it anyway. Just makes it easier to make these full house silly hands. Full houses are not super reliable normally. But they're a lot easier to make when you have this many things. I don't really like any of these. I'll take one of the ones I can sell, and we'll get rid of it. This one could be fine. Like, I could take Odd Todd. We're at the end. The run's over, basically. We're on the final round. This might be hard to use, though. Cerulean Bell could be quite nasty, actually. Ooh. Full houses do not like force 1 card to always be selected. Ugh. We'll see how that goes. That actually makes Odd Todd even worse because we can't control whether or not we're playing odd cards on the whole hand, but yeah. I'm just gonna buy something I can sell. The thing is, the difference between flush and full house is significant. Like, full houses are orders of magnitude better than the other options, so we're really trying to lean on them. I don't think I'm gonna take this. Oh, we'll see what else we can get. We don't have much time to get else, but like, every hermit we have gives us more time! If it contains 2 pair... Clever Joker does synergize, but I don't know. I don't know why I'm being so picky. We could have just taken a couple of these by now and it would have been fine. Ugh. Let's open the Jumbo Standard pack before I agonize more about what I'm taking. No, I hear you exactly, Eisen. I'm gonna take this again. It's another blue seal card, why not? Well, I guess we're at the end now. A red seal steal is actually better. Because it'll trigger twice in hand. I'll take that one. How are we going to try to survive? Retriggering the first played card doesn't really do anything for us. We have a couple of buffed cards now, but like, not in a meaningful way that having the first card retriggering is going to make a huge difference. It's just like an extra 40 points. One more reroll. Egg! Okay, none of this is any good. I'll use a Pluto just for fun, and we're gonna get into the round and see what we can do. It is wild how much we're getting carried by Madness, though. That 7.5 times multiplier is enormously powerful. This is kind of a junk hand, so I think we're just gonna dump some stuff out of it and see what else we can get. Any jacks, 10 kings, aces would be nice. So let's just refresh our hand. Still not what we're looking for. Don't love it. I'll do one more. I could do a straight just to get us closer. We'll get rid of one of these, but we have a couple more in the deck. Let's play it a little safer. Get a little closer to our target. There's the jack we were looking for. Alright, so now we'll just take this and score our way to the top. One funny thing about Hanging Chad is even if they're like... You can rearrange the cards in ways that... are still a valid hand, but don't look right. And this is still a valid full house, even if the jack's at the front. Hey, plus 20 mult. We'll take that. And 1 billion points. We love to see it. I'm a little worried about the final round still, but we'll see how we go. Now, one other thing worth considering is we can't actually buy any Joker on the final round because Madness will not trigger. So that is worth keeping in mind. These are all kind of bad. Let's go ahead and upgrade you two. Glass card might be worth it at this point because we're not going to get many chances to play them. But I'm just going to do this. It doesn't matter if the card destroys itself if it's the final card you're going to play in the entire game. And do I want more steel? Let's see what the Emperor has to say. Devil and Death. Death's actually really good for us. Devil's fine, but Death is really nice. Alright, let's jump into this sucker and see what we can do. Death actually is incredible for the final fight we've got coming up. Alright, let's go to the big blind. 8 times multiplier on Madness. What more do you need? A single card does all the things you could possibly desire. Let's dump this. If it comes down to it, I have 3 8s I can play as a full house component. I should make this one gold. While I'm at it, get this out of hand. And I think I maybe will wind up playing a full house component, but first we can see if we can get another ace or a jack first. We have enough time here to be able to dump some stuff. No more jack. I have 3 hands left, so I'm going to try one more time. Actually, yeah, we'll do one tiny hand. We can make this work no matter what from here. One more bad hand. Just trying to pump up our green Joker before the final round. Hey, we got the ace anyway. Easy peasy. If nothing else happened there, we could have gone 2 of these 8s and one of our other set, but it worked out nice. Yeah, no, skipping I still think is fine. Like, we don't need to. Oh, I actually don't have enough space for all my earths. Why was I keeping all those blue seals? Forgot what I was doing. It's fine. I'm keeping the death, though, because the death could save us from the random chance in the final stage here. So, we can take basically any jokers we want with us into the final encounter. What's in the Arcana pack? Another earth, or a steel card, a glass card, clubs, or diamonds. I don't think it really matters at this point. I'm just going to take the other earth. If I could have put another death in hand, that would have been pretty cool, but we don't have one to put there. The Jumbo Celestial Pack doesn't have an earth in it, so I'll take another emergency flush. But I don't think we're going to need one. Unless we're very unlucky, we shouldn't need it. Let's see what we can roll here. Anything fun? The credit card is back again. Well, that's pretty good, actually. 27 more mult, we'll take it. What else you got for me? That's another flush, I don't want that one. Let me buy something here that actually does something for me. Game, come on! No. Alright, that's fine. You know what, Lucky Cat? You can come and be part of the team. Why not? And that'll be us. Let's get into the final round. Here we go, Cerulean Bell. So the trick here is that we are forced to play whatever this card is. And that might otherwise have been a problem. Except we have death. So I can just turn this into something else and then play it. So I don't think it's going to be a problem. I'm going to go ahead and turn that 7 into a king. And then play a full house. Nice try, game. And that's game. We could go into Endless, but I don't think I'm going to do that right now. It's already almost 11 o'clock here, so I am probably going to be calling it here. But that was a fun little run. I've now unlocked another blind for the painted deck, so if I come back here next time, I can bump it up to the next difficulty. And we're looking good. I am happy with that outcome. I was not sure how that was going to go in the middle there, because we weren't getting anything to synergize with our jokers, but that early madness does a lot of work. So, yeah. Hopefully you all had fun hanging out here. I know it's been a couple of like low intensity streams lately, but that's been what I've been feeling. So, like I was saying earlier, I probably won't be streaming much again until like after the 18th. I'm gonna be out of town for a little while, but I might have time to do something on the weekend, we'll see. So, no promises, but I might get something in before I'm gone. Otherwise, I'll see you again in a week and a bit. So, have yourselves a great afternoon, folks. Thanks for dropping by, and I'll see you next time. Until then, bye-bye.